Makua, Seminole, and Tocobaga tribes. Sorry if I butchered any of those. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stay standing for the national anthem.
I got the cabin for 3 days. That'd be sweet. What? I'm 12 hours short.
Have a fun weekend.
You may be seated. Okay. Roll call and verification of quorum presented by Madavi.
If I butcher somebody's name, please correct me. Luke Paul,
Here.
Anna Reed,
Present.
Olivia Smith,
Present.
Angelina Wargis,
Here.
Gabriel Casimiro,
Present.
Christopher Corelli,
Present.
Samuel Jolie Kuar. Samuel, absent. James Capinos,
Present.
JC Lim, present. Jalen Miller, absent. Sahasra Satvika, here. Jonah Scott,
Here.
I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I'll spell it. Nghi Chow.
Ni. Here.
Ni. Thanks. Shivi Jain.
Here.
Owen Sherman.
Present.
Dine Smith.
Janae. Present.
Arwa Ali.
Present.
Melva Di.
Present. It's also D, like the letter D.
Okay, thank you. Zachary Gaudio.
Present.
Jason Hamid.
Present.
Ryan Kaufman.
Present.
Nicholas Licht.
Present.
Jordan Matilis.
Present.
Kai Prawl.
Present.
Peter, I'm not gonna butcher your last name. Ruckensler. Absent. Samuel Rose. Absent. Grace Rudy.
Present.
Daisy Hernandez.
Present. Trevor needed.
Brandon Kaminsky.
Present.
Terry Fawcett.
Present.
Mohamed Kidwai.
Present.
Nathan Rickett.
Present.
Kushi Chauhan. Absent. Bobby Escobar.
Present.
Ibrahim Nasim,
Present.
Rose Rodriguez. Absent. Katrina Wanjin.
Present.
Ella Witterberg.
Weiderberg, present.
Corson Green. Corson Green. Absent. Diana Wynn.
Present.
Anthony Bonaventure.
Present.
Veronica Perez.
Present.
Halima Al-Qada.
Present.
Albanesh.
Present.
Jocelyn Candeloro. Present. Kristen Court.
Present.
Victoria Jones.
Present.
Angelique Leon.
It's Leon and
Leon.
present.
Sorry. You're good. Thank you. Abby Matthews. Absent. Isabella McRae.
Present.
Spurti Ndrashim Devara.
Present.
Cameron Randa.
Present.
Alex Rosenblum.
Present.
Maria Simmons. Absent. Mila Theodorescu.
Present.
Juan Warela.
Present.
Julia Jiven.
Here, and it's Zivan.
Ziven. Okay. And Jordan Libner.
Present.
51 off 59 quorum.
Okay, before we move on, I just want to introduce myself to those new senators and to those returning. My name's Jareeb. I am lucky enough to be the student body vice president. Got sworn in last week. Yay. I'm a senior. That's also crazy to say. I'm a visual communications major. I'm getting a minor of event management, and I'm just super excited to be working with everyone. I'll dive more into my Senate announcement later on, but I just want to fully introduce myself. So is there a motion to approve the agenda? Are there any objections?
So moved.
Seeing none, it is approved. Is there a motion to open nominations for Senate President? Are there any objections? Samuel Rose.
I was just saying I'm present. My mic wasn't working during roll call.
Okay. Present and voting at 6:12 p.m. Kushi.
I also was just going to say President voting.
Okay. Present and voting at 6:12 p.m. Okay. So are there any nominations for Senate President? Senator Valera.
I nominate Senator Quartz.
Okay. Senator Gaudio.
I was going to make the same nomination.
All right. Any other nominations? Wait, let me check Zoom. Anyone on Zoom? Any nominations? Okay. Is there a motion to close nominations? Are there any objections? Seeing none, nominations are closed. Is there a motion for speeches, questioning, and debate? Senator Gaudio.
I move for a 15-minute speech, unlimited questioning, 20 minutes of debate.
So there's been a motion for 10-minute speech, 15-minute speeches, unlimited questioning, 10-minute debate, 20-minute debate. Are there any objections?
I object.
Brody, what do I say after that?
Does the person who made the motion withdraw their motion?
Senator Gaudio, do you withdraw your motion?
I withdraw my motion.
There's been a withdrawal of motion. Is there a new motion? Senator Lipner.
I'd like to move for unlimited speaking time, 5 minutes of questioning and 5 minutes of debate.
So there's been a motion for unlimited speech, 5-minute questioning, 5-minute debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we'll now hear from candidates. Kirsten Courts.
I'll wait till Brody has it pulled up. And are you just gonna go from slide to slide? Okay, perfect. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Kirsten Courts, and this is my presentation on why I would like to serve as your 57th session Senate President. Next slide. Okay, so a little bit about me. My major is in psychology, and I have a minor in international and global studies. With this combination, I hope to go to law school and eventually land a job in the DC area. I like to stay in the northern region of the United States because I'm originally from West Virginia. My family still lives there, and I have a cat. Her name is Yogurt. She's supposed to come live with me at the end of this year, at the end of the summer. And in my free time, I love playing games like The Sims and Stardew Valley. Okay, next slide. As for my experience, I was a part of the SGLC and SLC class of 2023 and 2024, where I served as the Nighthon Chair. For the dedication that I had to this committee, I was given the Best Chair Award at our SGLC banquet. I also served as a senator in the last session and was elected as LJR Chair. I had many initiatives during my time as LJR Chair and many goals for this committee, all of which I'm happy to say were completed. I received the Committee Chair of the Year award at our Passing of the Gavel banquet. I also served as the Black Caucus Vice Chair, and honestly, that was my favorite position that I've held within student government because I got to be closer to my community and serve them as close as possible. I had the honor of helping the previous Chair Metellus with any initiatives that he had, as well as doing secretarial duties that vice chairs do. I also was a member of the SBA, ENA, and CRT committees, as well as sitting on Women's Caucus and APIA Caucus during the 56th session. Next slide.
So, the Zoom people are saying if you can just scoot a little bit closer to the mic.
Oh, yeah. Is that better? I hope it's better. The initiatives that I have for this session can be separated into 3 overarching priorities: organization, engagement, and outreach. Next slide. Every outreach event that we hold stands on the precedence of advocacy. While tabling itself is great, most students probably wouldn't stop if we didn't have something physical for them to take home. Within the first 2 weeks of the session, I would come up with a comprehensive list of what merchandise we still have from last session. This and looking at our reusable items such as tablecloths to get a sense of what needs to be replenished or updated. I also have meetings with Senate leadership, specifically the advocacy internal committees such as SBA and GAP, to see what kind of new kinds of merchandise they would like to see for the year and draft that. I'm aware that we can't make any new purchases until the new fiscal year, but having that list ready to go would be more beneficial than not. I would also implement a merchandise inventory system for all of Senate to see. This would be means of seeing what we have, what we need, and when things are in use. The other initiatives that I have sprinkled within this priority have to do with our teams and shared calendar. For consistency purposes, I want to ensure that the committees are using the same format and design with their agendas, as it makes us look more put together and professional. As for the calendar, we currently use it to see when committees are meeting as well as when Senate is meeting. And I want to expand that to having committee and legislative branch listed as, next slide. It would be another way for senators to know when events are happening so they can earn points. We're the largest branch and are dedicated to advocating for our constituents and peers. There should be no reason as to why proportionally we had the lowest branch attendance at our events. While I can't directly influence attendance, I can provide incentives so we can all have fun. This will be a huge collaboration with the Pro Tempor's office, as Senator of the Month is usually something that they do, and would put more friendly competition within the branch. I've listed a few examples of what this would look like. For example, writing legislation, you get 1 point, 2 points for volunteering at a Senate event. I didn't really want to fully flesh this out because, again, this is a really big initiative that I do in collaboration with the Pro Tempor's office. The last thing for engagement would be simply tracking RSO events that we help fund and announcing the dates and announcements. Bringing attention to these with hopefully the intent of at least a portion of the branch attending allows us to see what we do for the RSOs, as well as showing them that we value what they're doing. Next slide. Which brings me to my last overarching priority, outreach. In attending the Candidate Expo and speaking with students in my college, I learned how separated the student body feels from us. As we are, again, the legislative branch, our entire purpose is to speak to the constituents, and that's not really a good reputation if they feel like they can't speak to us. During the summer, I will plan and speak to the relevant individuals so that in the fall, we can start hosting semesterly open houses. This could, of course, be means of speaking to students about what issues they have on campus, but I would like this to be more of means of humanizing us and bringing the student body closer to us. There's always the question of how this would be advertised, and I would, of course, utilize our future comms team, but also contact the deans to see if there's any way that they could send out mass emails to the students within their colleges, because they already do that. Another initiative that I have regarding outreach is specifically geared towards college-based RSOs. I sent out Google Forms to my RSOs last session, as they were all psychology-based, because I wanted to keep it within my major, so I could take the feedback to the deans. Personally, I didn't receive a lot of feedback, but I believe that if we were to expand this to all of the college and major-based RSOs, we'd be more likely to get a lot of information over a broader spectrum. And finally, last year, we were very successful in terms of building relationships with our sister campuses. I want to strengthen those relationships, as well as doing more tabling events and activities like we did on main campus last year, like Slime with the Senators. I think that if we were to do those events at the sister campuses, it would be really beneficial for them. Next slide. The duties that I have listed on my presentation for my assistants would be in conjunction with their duties already listed in statutes. The ELA would be responsible for any functions that would have effect on us outside of the office, which in this presentation would include creating any of the legislative branch graphics and ensuring whatever timeline comms establishes is followed. They would also aid me in the planning and execution of outreach events and collaborating with the DSER to specify which RSOs are major and college specific, as well as orchestrating the send out of the feedback form. Next slide. As for the ILA, their duties are way more internal, and I want my ILA to have effect on functions that affect us inside of the student government office. The ILA would be responsible for drafting merchandise designs that would be shown to the Senate body, and they would be responsible for aiding me in the upkeep of the inventory system once implemented, as well as collaborating with the DLEG regarding the tracking of legislation signatures. Next slide. I do have a few other priorities listed out for the session. We made a few changes to Title VIII regarding fiscal timelines, and I want to meet with UCF Global to ensure that they have that information, as well as gaining more insight into what we can do in general to help international students, just in general. I will also be appointing a sergeant at arms and continuing to collaborate with the advisor's office regarding website updates. There isn't really more to say about that. Those are just two priorities that I have. And I ran on ensuring that this body has a working knowledge of our governing documents is one of the initiatives that I ran on to regain the seat. And it's also one of the initiatives that I had as LJR chair. And I want to bring that into this session and dedicate myself to ensuring that all of you have a working knowledge of our statutes and governing documents in the most digestible way possible. And next slide. To close out, I love Senate and I always will. I truly believe that I'm the best candidate for this position, as I've already elevated the branch in so many ways, and I only wish to do so more. The 57th session has so much potential, and I'm really excited to see what we do. Thank you.
We will now go into questioning. Whenever I call on you, just say your last name so one, we can all get to know your last name. and so it helps me as well. Senator Lipner.
He knows me, I'm Lipner. But one quick question for you, Senator Courts. Why do you want the ILA and ELA to design merch and graphics when we have a comms department that is supposed to handle that internally? Like, what was the reason for that designation?
As far as I'm aware, last year, I'm pretty sure that we made our own merch designs and graphics and we sent it to comms for them to post.
Senator Lim.
Hi, guys. I'm Senator Lim, and my question for you is, how would you describe your leadership style?
I would describe my leadership style as being democratic, but also delegative. In my time as LJR chair, we did an event where we taught the student government body about the statutes. And the way that I divided it within committee was I gave each person their own statute and they were responsible for coming up with a speech as well as questions for that. And just in general, whenever I make decisions, I make sure that those who are affected also know what's happening. So that's why I would say that I also have a democratic leadership style.
Okay, we're gonna go Senator Banesh, Senator Gaudio, and then Senator Metellus.
Everybody, quick question. How do you plan on making Senate meetings more efficient from last semester? I feel like we did. So how do you plan to make those a little bit more efficient and faster for us and for our constituents?
Thank you for your question. I think when it comes to the amount of time that we're spending in Senate, it comes down to making sure that all of the senators have a knowledge of how things work here and ensuring that they know that whenever, we set time limits, those are important, or that we're not saying the exact same thing. I also want to place heavy emphasis on whenever we're doing real Senate business, whereas we're as professional as possible, whereas when we get to the end of the meeting, we can have fun again.
Senator Gaudio.
So last session, there was a couple times where the Senate would butt heads with other branches for some reason or another. When those conflicts arise, how do you as Speaker plan to resolve those conflicts and represent the Senate?
Thank you for your question. I think that in my capacity as Senate President, if there's anybody within the branches that are not getting along, it's my duty to meet with their branch head and potentially those people to see if we can come to a common agreement or common ground. If we're not able to, there are other avenues. That's why we do have the advisor's office if we're not able to figure it out ourselves. But
Senator Metellus.
As Speaker, you are the face of the legislative branch, not only to the student body, but to other schools. How will you represent the legislative branch and student government as a whole towards the student body and when visiting other schools?
thank you for your question. I think that the best way that I could be that the Senate President can be the face of the legislative branch to our students as well as the other campuses that we go to is by going to these places with something to share, something that they can take away as well as being open to what they're hearing. When it comes to specifically on this campus, I think that we should do more in terms of representing our RSOs and showing them that we are there for them.
Senator, you pronounce your last name?
Alcuda.
Kuda.
Two, if I may.
Yes.
So they're gonna be really quick. And I'll just combine them. Do you plan to elect a sergeant at arms or appoint a sergeant at arms? And also, what would your office policy look like?
Yes, I will be appointing sergeant at arms. That was one of the priorities I had. As for your second question, could you elaborate on what you meant by that?
Just like in terms of like people using your office, like how, like open door, whatever you envision your office kind of hours to look like, and people using it.
I don't really mind if people are in the office, whether I'm in there or not. If I'm having a meeting, I would just let people know that that's what I'm doing. If I'm not in the office, I don't really have an opinion.
Senator Valero.
It's Varela and Tulame.
Yes.
My first question is, given the unstable nature of the political environment surrounding education, how do you envision the Senate and student government's role in preserving education here at UCF?
That's a great question. I don't have an exact answer for that, but I would like to collaborate with the future GAP committee and GAP leadership regarding legislation surrounding education within the Florida Senate.
And that also leads into my next question is, how do you envision your relationship with committees and how involved do you plan to be in each committee?
I plan on being, thank you for your question, sorry. I plan on being very involved with the committees when it comes to how organized they are and ensuring that their meetings are going smoothly. When it comes to things that they are doing or initiatives that they may have, that's out of the jurisdiction of my office, so I would make sure that I would give that to the pro tempore.
And then we have overlaps time. Is there a motion to extend questioning?
Motion to extend questioning time by 5 minutes.
There's been a motion to extend questioning by 5 minutes. Are there any objections? Seeing none, questioning's been extended by 5 minutes. Senator Trejo Hernandez.
As you're emphasizing that everyone should have working knowledge of our governing documents, how can you ensure when we have new senators come in throughout the year, they are able to catch up as they're suddenly dropped in the middle of a meeting?
Okay, so thank you for your question. That would be a really good collaboration to have with the pro tempore's office, as they are in charge of making sure that new senators receive orientation. The current plan that I have, I already have a presentation that already has our statutes. So I'm gonna make that public for all senators to see, and I'm working on drafting a booklet for senators to take home.
Senator Escobar.
Senator Escobar, how will you ensure that there's transparency in how the Senate budget is being spent and where our funds are going to?
I would put that into my Senate announcements to ensure that all of Senate knows where the money's going.
All right, let's go. Senator, what's your last name? Leon. And then we'll go Senator Leon, Lipner, Lim, Valera. No. Valera. Varela. There we go. Sorry, y'all.
Senator Leon, and I just wanted to ask a question, I guess. How would you measure the student body feeling more connected to student government?
A lot of students don't know what the legislative branch is or what it does in general. I think the way that I would measure that is by how many people are coming and how many people are retaining the information that we give them.
Senator Lipner again, looking back at the last session, what are some things you appreciated that the last speaker did, and what are some things that you want to improve upon that she may or may not have done perfectly?
Okay, thank you for your question. I think that the last speaker was very good when it came to interbranch communication, as well as keeping Senate a positive environment. The only thing that I would really change that I know of off the top of my head is I want my office to be seen as a unit. Last session, I feel like the office of the Senate President were 3 different people and not a unit. So I would like mine to be more of a unit.
Senator Lim, my question is, do you have any other time commitments for summer, fall, and spring semester?
Other than my classes.
How do you envision the Senate's relationship with the caucuses, specifically how much budget they're going to be getting from the Senate President and the merchandising, if they're going to be able to use Senate merchandise?
Thank you for your question. So they would, of course, be able to use Senate merchandise. As for their budget, that's something that I would have to have more of a conversation with relevant individuals because I don't know at the moment. But thank you for your question.
Senator Benesh.
Move to debate.
There's been a motion to move the debate. Are there?
Object.
So there's been objection.
I withdraw.
Perfect. And then what was your last name?
Senator Chow.
Chow, Senator Chow.
Yeah, I was just curious, specifically, how do you plan on holding committee heads, chair heads, or just leadership in Senate accountable in terms of like leadership?
Thank you for your question. I think that the way that I would hold them the most accountable is by ensuring that they are leading by example. When it comes to their initiatives, again, that's more of a pro tempore's duty, so I wouldn't step too much into that and I would leave that to the pro tempore. But in my capacity, I would ensure that they are leading by example and holding themselves accountable as well.
Senator Banesh, is that another question or you still have your, okay. Senator Gaudio.
Move to debate.
There's been a motion to move the debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now officially in debate. Senator Lipner, Metellus, Rudy, and then Gaudio.
Hi again, Senator Lipner. When I think of who would be the best speaker for our Senate, there was only one name that came to mind, and it was Kirsten Kortz. So I'm very happy to see that she's running unopposed, and it seems like everyone else agrees with me in that process. Had nothing but great things to say about her from the last session, and I'm sure they will only continue and grow. So I'm excited to see that happen. Congratulations.
I didn't introduce myself before when I spoke, but hi everyone, my name is Jordan Metellus. But yes, Quartz is one of the hardest working and most dedicated individuals I've had the privilege of working with. As Black Caucus Chair, she was not only my right hand as the Vice Chair, but also my rock, someone I could always count on. She leads with integrity and is always supportive of those around her. She brings a rare balance of compassion and competence, knowing when to guide and when to uplift. Her experience as LGR Chair gives her an unmatched knowledge, especially on how to run a Senate meeting effectively, which is something that sets her apart in this chamber. Beyond her leadership roles, Quartz has gone above and beyond to build meaningful relationships with her fellow senators and engage directly with the UCF community. And her experience and initiatives and unwavering passion for student government and the broader UCF campus makes her the best candidate for this position. And I will proudly be voting in favor of her and strongly encourage you all to do the same.
Hi, I'm Grace Rudy. But I've seen Kirsten Kortz through every year that I've been in student government, and I think that there is a precedent to her commitment to her initiatives and to her constituents that goes beyond many other senators that I've seen and many other student government officials. So I just think that there could not be a more qualified candidate for this position.
I had the pleasure of serving as the LGR Vice Chair last session with Senator Kortz, and I have to say it was a phenomenal time. I had absolute faith in her abilities as a chair, and I will continue to have absolute faith in her abilities as a speaker. I know I tend to speak well of everyone in general, but I cannot overstate how much I do respect Senator Kortz, and I would like to move to vote.
There's been a motion to move the vote. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in procedures votes.
So this will be on Zoom. You'll see the poll pop up and you can vote, and then it'll be great.
With a vote count of 45 to 0 to 1, the new Senate President is Senate President Kortz. I hereby yield the chair to Speaker Kortz.
Okay, we will now immediately go into the nominations for Senate President Pro Tempore. So is there a motion to open the floor for nominations? Okay, are there any nominations? Senator Kaufman.
I nominate Senator Hamid.
Senator Hamid, do you accept?
I do.
Okay. True. Could you say it, please? I'm sorry.
Tudorescu.
Tudorescu? Yep.
I nominate Senator Gaudio.
Senator Gaudio, do you accept?
I accept.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, is there a motion to close the floor for nominations? Okay, is there a motion for speeches, questioning, and debate? Senator Lipner.
Motion for a 10-10-10.
There's been a motion for a 10-10-10. Any objections? Seeing none, we will go in the order that I called out. So Senator Hamid, you have 10 minutes whenever you're ready.
Question. So 10 minutes would be for each of their speeches, correct?
Yes.
And then 10 minutes of questioning for both, but then only 10 minutes to debate both of them, not each.
Correct. I did not clarify that. It's 10 minutes per person. And then whenever you're asking questions, your questions are directed at both of them. So it's 10 minutes altogether. And then you have 10 minutes in debate. You can say whether you're in favor of one candidate or the other. Okay. Is everyone clear on that? I apologize. Okay.
All right, can everyone hear me? Okay. Hello, guys. My name is Jason Mead, and I'm running to be your 57th session Senate President Pro Tempore. I'll wait for Brody to get my presentation up. So next slide. A little bit about me. I'm currently a mechanical engineering major, hoping to go into biomedical engineering to design prosthetics. I'm currently the treasurer and previous recruitment director for the Biomedical Engineering Society here at UCF. I'm going to be an intern this summer at Duke Energy. My first day on Monday, and I was a SolidWorks instructor last summer with a SolidWorks student leadership program. Next slide. So on to my Senate involvement. So I began my time in SG by running to be a CECS senator for the 55th session. I had absolutely no idea what Senate did, and I had no prior leadership experience, but I wanted to find a place that I could grow as a leader and to find my place on campus. Shortly after joining Senate, I fell in love with everything that we do in this body. After my first 3 months as a senator, I became the SBA chair, and later that year I received the Best Committee Chair Award. I was reelected as the SBA chair last session, and through that I was able to see many senators' goals and ambitions on improving campus come to fruition, and I was thankful enough to help those senators complete their goals. During my time as a senator, I've sat on FAO, LGR, and GAP, and I was elected to sit as a senator at large on the ANSF committee. I was also a member of the LGBTQ+, Arab, and Disability Caucus during my time here. Also, through my work as the SBA chair, I was invited to sit on the Chiefs Advisory Council, which is made of administration, faculty, staff, and students that give feedback directly to the Chief of Police here at UCF. Next slide. So on to some of my pro tempore initiatives that I'm proposing to you all. Leadership meetings would be regularly scheduled between myself and the chairs and vice chairs of committees in order to discuss committee progress and assist in anything needed by the committee chairs and vice chairs. Office hours would be posted weekly for senators who want to ask any questions, need to talk to me, or just want to stop by and chat. There would be an online and in-person option for these hours, and I would specify when I'm in the office or when I'm not. With this, I also included an open door policy to help encourage new senators to come talk. Miscellaneous workshops would include a professional development workshop and a tabling workshop. I don't expect everyone who enters this body to understand how to navigate a professional workspace. This is a lot of our first time actually working in a professional workspace. So this workshop would focus on things like email etiquette, Microsoft Office help, and how to conduct yourself in a professional meeting for senators who might want to work on those things. So if you know me, you know that I love tabling. I believe it's a great way to connect with our community and our constituents. I want to make a workshop that can teach senators about how to set up a table, where all the supplies are in the office, how to make a short pitch that will keep students engaged while including everything that we do to help students. For those of you who don't know, the Knights Give for Good and Get Some donation drives are a collaboration that we've done with Hearts for the Homeless, which is an RSO that provides different medical help to the homeless communities around their area. This is actually an RSO that was created at UCF and is now spread around the globe. And I'm really thankful for the amount of collaboration we've been able to do with them. So this donation drive is an event that we host every semester where we collect clothes, food, and monetary donations to give back to the homeless community in Orlando. And we're grateful enough to be able to go out to a homeless shelter in Orlando with this RSO and give back. I want to make this initiative a branch-wide initiative compared to just being an SBA. as I believe it would be a great way for senators to give back to their community and to experience something different through this branch. Next slide. Personalized orientations. So for senators who are appointed during the year, it would be my responsibility to give them an orientation. I want to focus on making sure that these orientations are more personalized to these senators. This would include a quick committee tutorial or intro to explain what they might be doing in the committee they just joined. For example, let's say you join the FAO committee and you have no idea what FAO does. This tutorial would include, well, what's a fiscal bill? What's an allocation? What do those things really look like? And what are things that you can look at to make sure that when you go in on your first day, you're not completely clueless? We'd also start by working on proposed initiatives to make sure that they have the help to get the ball rolling. Joining Senate in the middle of the year is really stressful. You're joining a new meeting, new committees, caucuses, sometimes personal initiatives become overwhelming. So making sure that we start on them right off the bat, I think would help a lot of senators make sure that they stay on top of it. I'd also send them home with a pamphlet of information, like contact information for Senate leadership, meeting times, dress code, and other important things that I think that they should know. I would also implement a 2-week or month-in follow-up email to make sure senators are adjusting to their new position well. For the legislation and fiscal tracker, I want to expand the current pro temp's office tracker to include internal legislation, fiscal bills, sanctions from ORS, and all funds being used from the FAO and CRT accounts. For the branch-wide initiative tracker, I want to expand the current Senate committee initiative tracker to include the Senate presidents, Senate President pro tempore, and individual initiatives. I would also work on adding this tracker to the website, and I would hope to collaborate with the future executive comm team to create a monthly Senate initiative spotlight on the SG Instagram beginning in the fall to show students what we're doing for them behind the scenes. Next slide. So on to the deputies. The confirmation timeline would be the same for both deputies. Applications would open May 15th, check your calendars, that's today. Interviews will begin on the 17th, and hopefully next Thursday we would hold confirmations. For this role, I would expect someone to submit a resume, a proposal on improvements or initiatives for the role, and any supporting documents that they deem necessary. I would be looking for an individual who enjoys and can interpret fiscal and internal legislation, but even if they're not fully knowledgeable on them yet, I would want someone who's a quick and willing learner to get up to date. So the tasks that I would delegate to the DLEG are senator workshops to go over internal legislation and fiscal matters to make sure that senators are knowledgeable on the things that we're doing. Senate student fiscal workshops to inform students on our funds, how they can best utilize them, and what our funding policies are. Finding a means to advertise our funding to a broad range of students and expanding beyond the SG Instagram. And to hold regular fiscal leadership meetings to discuss funding updates and possible changes to fiscal policy as the year goes on. Next slide. Okay, on to the Deputy of Senate Relations. As I said, the confirmation timeline is the same. However, I would expect the proposal to include bonding activities and possible email templates and any initiatives they bring to the role. I would look for an individual who is knowledgeable in UCF resources and organizations and someone who is passionate about the advocacy work done in Senate. This is because I noticed the DLEG focuses on the internal and fiscal, but there is no deputy that looks into the advocacy part of Senate. And I believe the DZER is the perfect role for that. So some tasks I would assign to the DZER are hosting monthly bonding activities on campus to help senators connect with each other outside the chamber. I expect that they create monthly email templates for senators to send to their designated RSOs. This could include funding info, events, or surveys. In collaboration with the Senate President's Office, I would want them to organize branch-wide tabling days on main campus, Rosen, and downtown. I did not include Lake Nona since I have not yet to table there, and I would want to make sure there's an avenue for us to do that first. They'd also be the team captain for our IM sports team. This would include polling senators on what they would like to play, creating the team, and coordinating with the players for the games and such. And I would hope that there would be a team for fall and for spring. Next slide. So all in all, thank you guys so much for considering me for this role. I hope that my presentation shows my dedication and how much I care about the success of all of you and this branch. Senate has become my home, and it truly taught me how to unleash my potential. I've grown so much by being here and through the mentorship I've received, and I hope that all of you get to experience that as well. With that, I yield the rest of my time.
So since there's two candidates, I'll have both of you sit up here so you can answer the questions. Gaudio, you have 10 minutes whenever you're ready.
Good evening, Senate. How are we all doing tonight? Let's hope we're not here for too long, yes? For those of you who already know me, it's great to see you again. Here's to another great year, right? For the people who do not know me, My name is Zachary Gaudio. I'm looking forward to working with each and every single one of you. And the first thing I want to say is a big, warm hello. Next slide. A little bit about myself. So I am currently a graduate student pursuing a master's in aerospace engineering. I tutor math and fluid mechanics on the side. So if any of you need help with that, let me know. As for what I've done in the past, I was the vice chair for LJR last session, where I had to know the statutes, I wrote the minutes, and I wrote all of our general revisions bills except for one. I was the project lead for the design build fly team for AIAA at UCF, where I had to write the schedule, I had to write the budget, I had to organize the team, making sure that everyone was working together as one great big unit. And I was the treasurer of the International Relations Club and everything that comes with being a treasurer. Next slide. So that's all fine and dandy, but what do I bring to the table? So really, there's 4 values that guide all of the work that I bring to the table. First and foremost being my sheer unbridled optimism. If you love what you do, you will put everything you have into it. And let me tell you, folks, I do love what I do. I love all of you. And I love that I even have this opportunity. And it is that attitude that gives me a diligence and an attention and care for my work. Because I love what I do, everything gets my utmost attention and care, including all of you. Now, of course, all of the smiles in the world don't stop conflict and disagreement from happening, because we all have things that we're here for. And so to help resolve this, I try to keep a rational, level head, remain impartial when resolving those conflicts, and making sure that everyone walks away happy. And of course, in order to do that, one must communicate. Communication is king is one of those little sayings that I like to say. Those of you who know me know I have those. More often than not, these problems are just misunderstandings that can be resolved through a simple conversation. Next slide. So that's fine and dandy. I could be the greatest guy in the world, but what am I actually going to do? So the big one is new senators. I was appointed during the fall semester of the last session. And so what happened was a lot of those friend groups had already formed, those social networks. It was hard. It was difficult. And I want to make sure that not just the new senators who are new here, but all of the senators who get appointed later in the session feel welcomed, feel accepted, and that I work directly with them to make sure that they're integrating well. I want to get everyone comfortable with writing legislation. Everyone is here for a purpose and a reason, a different purpose, a different reason, with a life of experiences behind it. And you should feel comfortable taking the action you want to act on that. And if you don't feel comfortable, I want to be there to help you. I will be there to help you. You should write legislation that is not just legislation, but good legislation. Of course, there is media trading. So this is a new requirement that was passed at the end of the last session, but it has not been signed by Dr. Frame yet. Presumably it will be. I would essentially be responsible for training you all on how do you deal with interviews and reporters in your capacity as a student government agent. I don't know how many of you paid attention to the last election. I hope you guys did, though, considering you all ran in it. But some of the presidential candidates were a fairly hot button topic, and we had reporters, media that were interested. You should all be prepared, even if that preparation is just saying, I'm not open to interviews, please see presumably the ELA. And then I have a knowledge on Robert's rules, the statutes, and the Senate rules that I want to share with all of you that I built up as a vice chair. I want to help new committee chairs make sure that if you've never been a committee chair, do your business expediently, that if ever there is any question, I will help you. As the pro tempore, I would sit on every committee. I will be there. And then for all the other senators, sometimes a motion will get made on the floor and eyes will get wide. What happened? What's going on there? I want to have a little cheat sheet that every senator can take, bring with them into the chamber. So if a motion gets made or you want to make one, you know exactly what that entails. Next slide. So that's fine for the Senate, but what do I want to do to go beyond that? Fiscal resources. So many times we'll have RSOs come in and they'll ask, hey, I want to inquire about so-and-so. And the front desk worker usually will come over and say, hey, is there anyone from so-and-so? Well, sometimes there's not someone there, right? And it would be, or they might not have a question that they actually need an answer to. I want to create little flyers that say the front desk worker could take, or we could post on social media that answer what you can ask for money for, how much money you can ask for, contact information for the chairs, so that people have that information directly in front of them. As for the ANSF budget, as pro tempore, I sit on the ANSF budget committee, which would distribute your activity and service fee money into all of SG's agencies and departments. Well, last year, we ran out of money for FAO and CRT ahead of schedule. And of course, nobody ever asks for less money, right? We need to expand that. So last year, so going through that budget, oh, I'm tripping over my own words. I apologize. Moving on, caucuses. We love our caucuses, don't we, folks? They do such great work. I could name off events all night, but we only have 10 minutes, not all night. I want to make sure that they can keep putting in that incredible work, tabling, that the Senate is helping them, as well as outside of the Senate. And then, of course, let's talk SGLC. This kind of gets into the role of the ILA, but as the pro tempore, again, I sit on every committee. I work with every committee chair, and I want to get our SLCers more involved in our committees in a way that is still respectful to the committee. I want to work with the chairs to get them involved. I mean, when you had 2/3 of all SGLCers last year saying SLC is their last choice, let's work to inspire that interest. Next slide. But I am one man, and one man cannot do all of this on their own. And so for my deputies, my DLEG, I want to make sure that they are just as informed in Robert's rules, in the Senate rules, the statutes, to really work to make sure that if there's ever any questions, even if I am not there, then they can be answered right then and there. The DLEG also oversees internal legislation. Sometimes people will wonder, I want to do this, but how do I word it in a way that lines up with the statutes? How do I actually do this? And I want to make sure that that DLEG can actually go through with that and help them. Thank you. As for the DZER, oh, I apologize. And then fiscal legislation. All senators get fiscal legislation. You shouldn't, I believe that the DLEG should work to make sure that you know what that RSO is asking for money for, and that if for some reason they can't be, such as questions on third reading, then you can answer those questions. For a DZER, I want a positive environment, host those events, get new senators to integrate. I want them to serve as that unbiased mediator when disagreements show up, because it is their role statutorily to support the executive branch agencies and departments. And then outreach to RSOs for those fiscal materials I was talking about, or whatever else they may need. Next slide. I know we're really moving, right? Closing statements. I want to uphold my relationship with everyone in this room. I would be the right hand of the speaker. I would be working with every single committee, new orientation. Everyone here has a reason and a purpose for being here. You all want to put everything you have into this, and I want to make sure that Senate puts everything back into you. Not just that I'm communicating with you guys, but that you guys are all communicating with one another. Kerfuffles can happen now and again due to people not communicating. I want to resolve that. We had issues last session because of that. I don't want that to repeat itself. I want to make sure everything's resolved appropriately, expediently, and everyone is happy. Let's make things happen. Let's make things work. I yield my time.
Okay, we are now in a period of questioning. Green, did you need to say present and voting?
President voting. Thank you.
Okay, Senator Green, present and voting, so noted at 6:58 p.m. Questioning. I'll go Metellus, Trejo Hernandez, and then Lipner.
May I direct a question to Senator Hamid only?
No.
Okay. Well, my question was, how will you enforce the initiative tracker that is in your initiatives, but either of you can answer how you plan on enforcing an initiative tracker?
I would enforce it by one, reminding senators that it exists and making sure that it's an accessible location, and also finding a way to make an incentive to fill it out. I think now current Senate President Courts has a point system. So hey, if you update your initiative tracker with something pretty big, that could be something. I think that would help students or senators update it and want to update it.
So as part of the regular talks that I plan to have with each and every one of you, I will also have an understanding for the initiatives that you will be working on, that you will be developing. And through those meetings, I will be pushing, hey, by the way, you're working on the tracker, right? Hey, let's get this out there. What's coming next? That broader understanding, that scope, because sometimes you'll be working on an initiative and you might not even necessarily know what is 2 steps from now. So even just having that conversation, you can look at the tracker and go, okay, we can fill this out and use this to perhaps help yourself plan as well.
Chair Hernandez. As pro temp, how would you ensure that from previous session, instead of the legislative branch being broken up to different parts, how can you make it sure when you work with the speaker, you're in a unit?
I do not quite follow. Could you reiterate the question? My apologies.
Basically, we have speaker, and from previous session, we've noted that sometimes they weren't working as a unit. How can you work with the speaker to ensure that that both of you can work as a unit to head this branch? And does that make more sense?
Yes, that makes plenty of sense. Thank you. I apologize. A phenomenal question, though. So as I was vice chair under the now current speaker, I already have a working relation with our new speaker. We have worked together. We fairly well divvied up our work. And I plan on, again, upholding that communication. As I keep saying, communication is king, going out of my way to talk with the speaker, make sure that she's communicating with me. And if there are ever any concerns, no matter how small, that we bring them up with one another.
So I'm lucky enough to call current Senate President Courts not just a colleague, but also a friend. I know that we're able to communicate effectively with each other, so I would want to have regularly scheduled meetings with the Senate President, especially also with both of our offices, including the assistants and the deputies, to kind of talk about where we're at, what are we doing, making sure we're both up to date on everything that's happening in Senate. And if there is to be a conflict, that Senate President and the pro temp work that out. And if it goes beyond that, we have an advisor's office. So calling on Brody or calling on Chantel to help mediate that conversation, ensuring that that does not impact any of the workload of Senate.
Lipner?
2, if I may.
You may.
First and foremost, Senator Hamid, you just mentioned that you and Chair Courts, or Speaker Courts, also Chair, are friends. And I know Chair Gaudio is also friendly with Chair Courts. How do you plan on managing that friendship while also staying amicable in your positions when you may have to butt heads?
So during my time in Senate, I've made a lot of friends, but I've also learned how to make boundaries with those friends, and also especially making sure that those boundaries are healthy, and making sure that when we step into the office that we are friends, but we're also coworkers, and making sure that that relationship takes precedence over friendship. And I can say that that has worked very well with everyone that I call friends outside this chamber. I'm able to maintain healthy relationships with my coworkers, still work with them, and if we do have disagreements, it won't impact our friendship at all, and it won't impact our relationship as coworkers.
So I prefer to keep my personal and my professional associations completely separate. And while I have prior experience with Speaker Courts in a professional context. However, I would also like to state that as the pro tempore, I would be beholden to all of you. And so while we have that working relation, while we have that trust built up, if there were to be a disagreement, at the end, the fact that we are having an election for this position alone states that I would defer to you all. It would be that, what does the Senate believe in this context? Because sometimes it's best to take it out of my own hands.
And then the second one, you both have mentioned some time commitments or priorities that may detract from your ability as pro temp. One of you is going for a master's degree, the other one has an internship. Both of those seem pretty intense. So can you specify your weekly hours of work or schedule for classes that may be happening for the summer and what you expect to happen for the next 2 semesters in the fall and spring?
So over the summer, I am not actually doing any classes because my department doesn't offer graduate level courses over the summer. So I will be engaged in some research, but it is not so much of a time commitment that it will detract from here. In the fall, I will be, obviously my classes will start again. However, graduate degrees, you take less courses. And so I can manage my time, build my schedule better. It's not, rather than taking 4 or 5 classes, I'm taking 2 or 3. So that's that.
So my internship is pretty nice in the fact that I get to start my day whenever. I'm actually planning on starting at either 6 or 7 a.m. and planning to be out of the office at either 2 or 3, which leaves me for the entire afternoon and all my weekends. Work is fun because there's no homework. So all of my free time is here. I've actually told this Brody once, but this is actually the fun thing I do. So this is like my battery recharge. So, and then in the fall and spring, I am going to my final year, which for those of you who don't know, seniors in engineering take senior design. However, the other classes I'm taking with senior design are all electives. So I'm not really worried about those. So, but I know that I've been able to manage my time in the past as with being a chair. I've been a chair during the hardest academic years of my life here at UCF, while also managing other commitments and other RSOs. And I've never, I guess, failed a class, never gone below a B. So I'm very confident in my abilities to manage my time as the pro tempore and with my other commitments.
Okay, Rickett, you said you had 2 questions. Here we go.
Yes, Madam Speaker. The first question is for both candidates. Can you tell me which title the Code of Ethics is located?
Which title the Code of Ethics is located in?
Yes.
That is Title 11.
I'm pretty sure it's also Title 11.
Okay, I'll follow on, Madam Speaker.
You may.
Okay, can either of the candidates tell me how many articles are located in the UCF Constitution?
I want to put my screen lower so you know I'm not cheating. I'm not sure on the answer for that. I apologize. I will look at that later.
There are 6 articles: the student body, the legislative branch, the executive branch, the judicial branch, senior student affairs officer, and the amendment process.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, Banesh, Varela. Okay, Banesh and then Varela.
So, excuse me. The Sergeant of Arms is under your office. What are you looking for? When would applications be open, et cetera, stuff like that?
Point of information, we changed that last session, so now the Sergeant at Arms is directly under the Office of the Senate President.
I rescind my question.
Okay, Varela, you may go. You may.
So my first question's pretty simple. Why do you both want to be pro temp?
So when I first joined Senate, my mentor, in a sense, was the 55th session's pro tempore, Akila Demarla. She was always there for me when I first became a chair. She helped grow my leadership abilities and figure out who I was as a leader. She helped me when I didn't really know what I was doing, if I didn't know how to answer a question, and helped support me and other new chairs in transitioning into a leadership role in Senate. I realized that I wanted to be that person for every single person in this room. That mentorship really helped me feel confident in my abilities in and out of this chamber. And I really, really, really want to be that supportive role for everyone. I want to see people get their initiatives done. I want to see committees grow. I want to see committees get things done and things happen because I love seeing the things we're able to do in this body, no matter if it's fiscal, internal, or through advocacy. Everything we do is so important. And I want to make sure that everyone feels like the work that they're doing means something, because it does. And if you don't think so, it means something to me. And that is at least one person. But I want to be the person who's your number one supporter, the person who you feel like you can go to if you need help on anything and not feel like you can be you're going to be judged. And I want to pass down that experience that I had to everyone here.
I came into the Senate from a background of I had never been in SLC. I'd never really looked at student government before. I came in from the perspective of someone who was active in RSOs. Student government was the organization that gave us money, to put it bluntly. And I wanted to know more about that process. I wanted to get involved. And it was rough, but I had some great people looking out for me, the people who sat next to me, the people who took the time out of their day just to talk with me. And it not only encouraged me to keep going, it encouraged me to build up a knowledge to help people with that knowledge and really make sure that everyone else has just as good of an experience as I do. That I want to take what I have developed and I want to put it and pass it on to each and every single one of you so that you all can do what you want to do, just as this body last year helped me do what I want to do. I took a lot of the knowledge I got back to my RSOs. And so I've helped the RSOs. Now I want to help you all. And I believe that the position of pro tempore, the committees are the heart of the Senate, and the pro tempore is the most interlocked with all of those committees.
Okay, and then for your second one.
Yeah, I asked a similar question to now President Courts, but given the unstable nature of the political environment around education, how do you envision the Senate's relationship with ensuring education protected at UCF as well as student bodies protected?
Well, I mean, the big one is, as I mentioned earlier, helping people write their initiatives, get those proclamations or resolutions out, that they're being sent to the right people, that they're being written well, that we are using that voice that we have as the body representing other students, and really that people are able to use it to the best of their ability, to really, because we are students. Our education matters. We're sticking up for other students. And knowledge is power. How can we best empower these students to stand for what they believe in with regards to their education?
Could you re-say the question? I apologize, I could not hear you.
Yeah, just how do you envision student governments and Senate's role in protecting the legitimacy of our education as well as the safety of our student body?
That's a great question. I think that it starts with interacting with our community, understanding what issues students are facing and actually talking to them about what they want to see us do. We are here to represent them, but we can't represent their interests if we don't know what they are. I would also work with GAP leadership to poll students, especially when it comes to Day at the Capitol, and ensuring that if there is a way we can advocate for our education and our rights to those individuals at the Capitol, that we're prepared to do that and we're well educated in what we need to know.
Okay, questioning time has elapsed. Is there a motion, Banesh?
Move to debate.
There's been a motion to move to debate. Any objections? Seeing none, we are now in a period of debate. You all have 10 minutes. Give me just a second. Okay, 10 minutes. Alcuda, Lipner, Rudy.
I will be speaking highly in favor of Senator Hamid for the role of Senate President pro tempore. Since my time in SGLC, I have looked up to Senator Hamid and always admired his dedication to go above and beyond in any role or commitment of his. As SBA chair, he created a safe and productive environment for any senator, new or returning, to allow their initiatives to come into fruition. I knew if I ever had a question that he was a senator and a friend that I could rely on and feel comfortable and confident in asking him those questions and to guide me to become a student government agent, as his experiences allow him to be so knowledgeable in the various facets of student government. I also admire how prepared and knowledgeable he was with his initiatives, how confident he was in it. It's clear that this is something he's very passionate about and that, he's planned for a very long time. So I'll be voting in favor of Senator Hamid.
Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Jordan Lipner, in case you haven't picked up on that by now. I talk a lot. But I'll be voting in favor of Senator Gaudio because of a few different reasons, mostly because it was less so what each of them did differently, but what each of them were doing that I wasn't so much a fan of. In Hamid's presentation, there was some indication that he felt that he will be the next pro temp. That's quote from his speech specifically. There were some other things regarding like publishing personal initiatives on the website, which I feel could be unfeasible and lack decorum. Additionally, there was some concerns about having their DLEG and DSER basically do most of their positional jobs and leaving the actual position of pro temp empty or not actually doing much, whereas Gaudio had a lot more clear distinction between his deputies. Additionally, I believe that Gaudio has the ability to work as a master's student, which is, I think, a very awesome thing to have within leadership of Senate, to have both an undergraduate and graduate student. Gaudio has specified that he is not personally friendly and won't have any concerns about that relationship, and is at the end of the day beholden to Senate as a whole in his role and not to his friendships, which I think is a very positive thing and would further avoid any cliques that may form within Senate, something that we've had problems with in the prior years. So for those reasons, I'll be voting in favor of Senator Gaudio, and I urge you all to do the same. Thank you.
Last session, I had the privilege of being a committee member of SBA under Senator Hamid's leadership. And in terms of experience that I've seen in the past 2 years of being in student government, I've seen Senator Hamid's hard work and ability to complete initiatives, and he was able to push me outside of my comfort zone and host my own initiative that I had set out on my platform of running as a senator. And I think these are all just examples of what I have seen in my experience of why Senator Hamid would be perfect for this position, and so I will be voting in favor for him.
Okay, Rickett Banash Green.
Oh, thank you, Madam Speaker. I will be voting in favor of Senator Gaudio. Just a little information for you all. I actually started my my SGA track, my SGA career 12 years ago when I was an undergraduate. That's when I first became a senator, and now I'm a graduate senator. In that time frame, I was able to be working at Disney. I was able to work for the United States Army, United States Navy, and deploy overseas. And I've seen what it takes to be a leader. I've seen what happens when leaders fail and when leaders succeed. And I believe that Senator Gaudio is the best candidate for the job. He has those leadership qualities. He knows himself and he sees self-improvement. He works with other people. He's willing to communicate, and he's always open and he's always unbiased. So I urge each and every single one of you, from a person with so much experience in SGA and so much experience in the world we live in, to vote for Senator Gaudio, because I believe he has what it takes to be the next Senate pro tempore. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. So just reintroducing myself, my name is El Banesh. This is a very difficult decision for me because I believe that both candidates are extremely, extremely qualified. However, I will be voting for a not so dull blade, if you know, you know, Zach Gaudio. I believe that he is immensely, immensely, immensely committed to this position. And you mean, you could ask him probably, what chapter could I find, blah, 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 and he could give it to you straight. He is very, very helpful when it comes to legislation, and he's written so many great pieces that nobody would ever think of. I remember last session, he'd be writing stuff on the statute, and I'd be like, yo, I didn't even think about that. And I love his commitment to making everybody feel very included. As somebody who was not in SGLC, was not in SOC, was not involved in SGA at all before this, well before last session, I really see myself in him. And to be honest, like, I really just love that commitment to not, separating Senate into different cliques. As somebody who's very outgoing, I've never had the problem of being cliquey in Senate, but I do believe there is an issue in that his commitment to, making everybody feel included and more willing to collaborate and be together will strengthen the body and make us stronger as a whole. So I'll be voting for Zachary Gaudio, and I hope you guys do the same.
I'll keep this short. I concur with Senator Benesh and Senator Rickett, and for that reason, I'll be voting for Senator Gaudio for the office of Senate President Pro Tempore.
Okay. I'll do Chair Hernandez, Kaufman, and then Varela.
Hello, I'm Chair Hernandez. Sorry for not introducing myself, but I'll be voting for Senator Gaudio just for like what was touched on like briefly. Is the fact is that the pro temp's office deals with fiscal and internal legislation, and they need that knowledge of like not only it's just like the deal, but also the pro temp themselves have to be aware of like, okay, when they receive a vote, is this actually constitutional? And especially when we noted in the previous session, the pro temp's office rejected a bill and said, okay, here is why. And with Senator Gaudio, like I would always come to with questions about like statutes and interpretations, and I believe he'll be the best to uphold like our governing documents. And yeah.
So I will be voting for Senator Hamid. I really love all the initiatives that Senator Hamid has presented to us since they're very fleshed out and look to improve the body. Senator Gaudio in the last session told me that he doesn't care for handling the fiscal side of Senate, and this just really concerns me as the President Pro Tempore's office deals with a lot of the fiscal information that comes through us. I know Senator Hamid really cares about the branch, so I'll be voting for him, and I encourage everyone to do the same.
Yeah, I'll be personally voting for Senator Hamid. I really respect Senator Gaudio's extensive knowledge of everything statute and constitution. I know me and him have lots of long conversations about the Constitution. I love those; they're great. But for me, this really close decision comes down to proof of concept. I have watched SBA through my time in SOC and Senator last year be extremely successful. As far as I know, SBA is the most successful it's ever been under Chair Hamid's leadership. Some things you might see around campus that are because SBA and Chair Hamid is halal shack downstairs, the allergen notification on those kiosks, and much more. Those are all results of Chair Hamid and his hard work. So for me, when I'm trying to decide between these two very qualified candidates, I have to go with the person who has achieved so much already and made SBA successful, and I will believe will make Senate successful.
Okay, Metellus, and then Benesh.
I'd first like to say I commend both of you guys for running for this position, and both of you guys are very qualified for this position. But with that, I would like to state that with Senator Gaudio, I do have a few concerns with his initiatives. As they're very ambitious, yes, but I'm not personally sure how feasible some of them can be for one person, such as being at every committee personally, while also wanting to have a big role in SGLC and working with the ILA and a lot of other things. So I will be voting in favor of Senator Hamid. Among the candidates, he brings the most experience to the table and has spent years in student government building a strong track record that reflects his commitment to one day serving as the pro temp here. His dedication to student government and the Senate has been clear, not only through his initiatives, but also through the way that he supports and uplifts those around him, including myself, as my mentor through my time in the SGLC program. Senator Hamid's initiatives are a direct reflection of his organized and intentional approach to leadership. And through his planned initiatives, he wants to ensure that the Senate not only functions effectively, but that it continues to grow and deliver on those initiatives that matter most. His experience and mentorship and focus on excellence make him a clear choice for this role, and I will be voting in favor for him.
Benesh, did you have something you wanted to say, or was your hand just up?
Motion to vote.
There's been a motion to vote. Any objections? Seeing none, we are non-voting procedures. Okay, with a vote count of, where do I see the vote count, Brody? Okay, 25 to 22 to 2. Congratulations, Senator Hamid, on President Pro Tem Ford. Okay, that was the most stressful 10 minutes of my life. Anyway, moving on. Announcements from the student body president, President Blanco.
All right, good afternoon. Oh, it's not afternoon. Guys, it's been a long day. Good evening, Senate. So first off, for the faces that don't know me, my name is Lucy Blanco. I have the honor and the privilege to serve as your student body president this year. You'll see me every week making my announcements, so get excited, learn the face, learn the name. Any official appointments will also be made by myself, as well as signing any legislation that you all create. So I look forward to working with all of you. Congrats to new leadership. And yeah, I'm very excited. Any project you wish to collaborate with myself and the executive branch, we are more than happy to. I'll be posting my summer office hours in the next week or so. So if there's any time you want to come talk to me, ask any questions, I'd be more than happy to host you anywhere in the office. And furthermore, any questions you ever need, I'm just a call or a text away. My friends know me, I'm a big texter. Teams chat me, I will get back to you a lot sooner. So I just wanted to establish that open line of communication right away, especially in regards to anything exec related. So a little bit from me tonight. So I'd first want to introduce our cabinet positions for this year. I've put the document in the minutes, so thank you, Brody, for that. Any changes that have been made, especially to chief and deputy, historically, the chief has been more internal while the deputy is more external. We're going to be making a few changes, so just please note that, as well as our chief of staff will also be our SGLC ELC coordinator. So any questions during confirmations for that, please direct towards that position. And I've delegated the Senate interview and application process to our deputy chief of staff as well. So any questions for confirmations regarding that process, please direct towards the deputy chief of staff. As well as the governmental affairs has been moved to the division administration. This decision was just made, just to be transparent with you all, to just allow that position to report to me directly. So that way we can have more of a different kind of collaborative effort in, making sure that, they can come directly to me, working with the GAP chair and working with the GAP committee, making sure we can have a nice smooth line of communication. And then highlighting the wellness portion in our sustainability and innovation coordinator. So making that sustainability, wellness, and innovation. So yeah, I've also included the memorandum I'll be sending to the ENA chair once that has all been decided, just so you guys have a photocopy of that as well. So with that all being said, I hereby appoint Chief of Staff Soraya Pearson, Deputy Chief of Staff Paniota Laliotis, Attorney General Jorge Altuna, Comptroller James Drinkwater, Governmental Affairs Coordinator Ali DeMarco, Director of Student Affairs Carly Berthume, Academic Affairs Coordinator Shivani Vakaria, Athletics Coordinator Dwayne Jones, Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Coordinator Noor Alraj, Safety and Transportation Coordinator Emily Lopez, Sustainability, Wellness, and Innovation Coordinator Ava Hendricks, Director of Communications Andi Ayup, and Digital Media Coordinator Gabriela Parra. So in addition to all of that, I also had the pleasure of working with the judicial branch and sitting on their interviews this past week and working with Interim Chief Justice Pizzera and their counsel. So for that, I also hereby appoint Seat 1, Isabel Johnson, Seat 2, Noak David, Seat 3, Johannes Leonard, Seat 4, Bianca Nunez, Seat 5, Noemi Tilke, Seat 6, Colin Hoffner, Seat 7, Sammy Toscano, and Seat 8, Madeline Grady. And lastly, I reappoint Zachary Gaudio to Graduate Studies seat number 5. And then just to update, the application for graphic design coordinator is going to be reopened, seeing that it went vacant the first time. So that'll be on Night Connect as of tomorrow, as well as our election commission. Any openings will be filled through that Night Connect respectively as well. And that'll also be posted tomorrow Night Connect. And then we'll be sharing that on the Instagram. Okay. last thing for me, and then I'll leave you all alone. Really exciting. In our first early days, we've already had the pleasure of working with Representative Frost's office and the State Department. They're hosting an event on May 30th in the Live Oak Ballroom over by Farrell Commons from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's going to be a pop-up passport event. So if you're going anywhere this summer or you know anyone in the area that would like to get their passport, they're also going to have the ability to get your picture taken there as well. So you can fill out the form, have your picture taken, and have it processed in a really timely manner, which will be incredible. You will have to make an appointment though. So when we post on the Instagram, I'll be sure to include the information to reserve your spot for that. And that's it. I think that's it. There's a question.
Are there any questions for President Blanco, Varela, and then Libner?
For the passport event, will people who sign up have to pay for the passport, or is it like paid for by the government?
You will still have to pay for your passport, yes.
Follow-up question. Do you know if the passports are only available to people who are registered voters in Orange County, or if it's anyone from anywhere in Florida?
I don't want to answer that yet. I can get in contact via email, and I can post that in like the general chat if you guys are curious, or I can just contact you personally. But I'm gonna say everyone, that's my guess, but I'll contact their team, of course.
Okay, are there any other questions? Seeing none. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Announcements from Student Body Vice President Benitez.
Back again. Hi, Senate. First off, big congratulations to everyone who are sitting in these seats and also that are on the Zoom. You are going to be great, amazing leaders here within the UCF community and student government, and I cannot wait to be working alongside everyone in this room and also on Zoom. Since being sworn in, we have had various introduction meetings of a lot of our UCF partners to just really lay the foundation of our platform and just meeting the administrators one-on-one on a more personal level. Along with that, we had the opportunity to speak at the transfer orientation session last week. That was President Blanco who spoke at that one. And then this past Wednesday, I spoke at the first year experience orientation leader recruitment training and just informed them about student government, definitely about the SGLC program, because that is a big recruiter method for the program. I was an orientation leader 2 years ago, and that's when we started upping the numbers because it was very promoted very much throughout that, along with this year. And I have no doubt that this year is also going to be a good way to promote it, especially because Senator Escobar is an orientation leader. And then as you settle into your seats, if you want to chat about anything, or if you just want to set up a one-on-one to really see what initiatives you want to bring to the table, just go ahead and email me so we can get that scheduled, and I'll be more than welcome to meet with y'all.
Are there any questions for Vice President Benitez? Seeing none, thank you. Comptroller's report, Comptroller's report.
Hi, everyone. Hope y'all didn't miss me too much. So, happy to see the chambers full again. I miss all your pretty faces. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Kylie Simillo. I'm the comptroller from the previous cabinet, and I'm still pushing through right now until the new comptroller is sworn in, hopefully next week or the week after. I'll be working very closely with Senate. The next comptroller will be as well, pretty much going over all fiscal reports. The person does hold the responsibility of being the chief financial officer for everything fiscal related in every single branch. So you guys can report to the comptroller at any time. With that being said, there will be a new face here soon, but for now you still have me as a transition into new leadership, and to congratulate you guys as well. I'm extending an offer if anybody has any questions fiscally, anything that they want to know about, like the budget from this year before I do leave the position. Please schedule a meeting with me because I'm not here much longer, especially for you guys if you wanted to talk about things for next year and this, that, and the other thing, whatever it may be, and looking through all the numbers from this year. I'm more than welcome, more than happy to do that. And then to kind of finish everything out, so we are currently, today I pulled the report, so we're pretty close to getting to July 1st, but the report as of now is that we have 2.39 left in our non-personnel budget for student government. What that essentially means is that it's all items like merchandise, events, catering, RSO funding, things like that. So we have not much left, which is good news. That does mean we used almost our entire budget, and ANSF did a great job the previous year making sure that we got what we needed and whatnot. And then we also have 27.94% left of our budget in personnel, which is essentially OPS. So everyone that does get paid for their positions pretty much use those funds. That OPS does fall through for the new people that are elected, so that will continue to be running low. So we're at a good number right now, considering we still have a couple months. And then also super excited to say that the PO is finally in and final for our order of Scantrons. I did order like 200 more packs, and there's like 1,000 trillion billion in a pack. So the pretty and pink Scantrons are on the way. FAO has a total amount of 5,301.2 with a reversion of 4.43%, and CRT is at 706.26 with a reversion of 3.76%.
All right, are there any questions for Comptroller Simillo? Senator Lipner,
2, if I may.
you may.
First and foremost, seeing as this may be one of the last times you will get to speak to us as a body, do you have any words of wisdom for the next year in terms of fiscal that you want to share?
Oh geez, I was put on the spot with this one. Words of wisdom. I would say just be diligent, watch the numbers, do whatever you got to do, and advocate for CRT and FAO. I tried to last year, I tried to the year before that. It doesn't get you very far, but that is something that's completely student facing. That's one way that us as student government see students every single week in a committee, and we're like, here's money. And that's a good way for them to connect with student government, even if it's just momentarily. It's a great way to push things. And then also, some of you guys might not know, but the executive branch, as of last year, put in our budget for this year to help fund any caucus-wide events, things like that. We do have more money in our student initiatives. Please use it. That's what we're here for. So reach out to those coordinators, reach out to Lucy, reach out to Jareb. Don't be scared. They're more than welcome to help you. They want to see your everything come to fruition for you guys. So don't be like, oh, that's not my branch. Like, I'm not comfortable, whatever it is. Like, if you don't feel comfortable going to them, ask them, they can go to them. Make it a loophole, whatever you need to do. Lucy and Jareb are here to see you guys succeed as much as your branch is.
And then second question, regarding the upcoming comptroller election period, what would you say are some green or red flags to look out for in a candidate for comptroller?
Honestly, I feel like anybody that is willing and has applied to be comptroller is someone that should be someone that you think of it in a good way. I don't think there's anything that's really like a red flag. I think anybody that put themselves out there, and Lucy and Jareb figured that that was a good candidate, they are. So I wouldn't go into it being like, oh, this is a bad candidate or whatever it is, but I would definitely just pay attention to what they know, what they're willing to learn. That's a really big thing in my position. Even though people here think of me as like queen fiscal and whatnot, I definitely learned so much in my position. So I think the main thing I have to say is like give grace when grace is needed. Like there's a lot that some people know, there's a lot that other people don't know. So whenever there's something like they might not know, or something that they do know, or something they're strong at, or something they're not strong at, you just have to be patient and be willing to learn and hold their hand if they need it. I definitely went through this position alone sometimes, and it got very overwhelming. So just having someone to say like, hey, I can help you. Like, I know that's not my position, but like I have a little bit of knowledge. So just being open.
All right, are there any other questions for Comptroller Simillo?
I just wanted to say thank you for your time as comptroller. It's been wonderful.
Thank you.
Seeing none. Thank you. Announcements. I'm gonna figure that out. Announcements from the interim Chief Justice Pizzera.
First of all, good evening, Senate. It's lovely to see everyone here. Congratulations to the newly elected. I'm going to start by introducing myself. So hello, everyone. To those who don't know me, my name is Bella Pizzera. This past year, I served as the Internal Assistant Chief Justice, where I was also one of the coordinators for SGLC. And then I'm a third year majoring in International and Global Studies with a minor in Intelligence and National Security. So let me just go straight into my announcement. So good evening, Senate. Again, I'm very excited for the new session and the newly appointed agents. I wish them all the best of luck in the next few weeks. I would also like to first thank President Blanco for assisting the judicial branch in our transition period and helping out with our interview process. It was a competitive application pool of 28 students, and I'm very excited to have 8 appointees, hopefully joining the branch in just a few weeks. I would also like to shout out my sitting justices, seat 9 through 14, for all of their dedicated time, especially because of the current influx of Sky cases. And lastly, I hereby resign Justice seat number 8, Maya Neto. She has been an amazing justice, and we will definitely miss her. We wish her the best of luck in her future endeavors.
Okay, are there any questions for Interim Chief Justice Becerra? Seeing none, thank you. Okay, there are still announcements from the Senate President and Senate President Pro Tempore, but we don't have those written out yet. So is there a motion to move to internal committee caucus time? Okay, ENA committee, 30 minutes. I recess this meeting at 7:40.
Hold on really quickly. You have to appoint the people to the committee first.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They're all listed on the bottom.
Okay, is there a motion to move to miscellaneous business? Okay, I hereby appoint James Capinos, Jordan Lipner, Nathan Rickett, Nicholas Luce, Shivi Jane, Kai Prohl, Katrina Wangen, Daisy Trejo Hernandez, Gabriel Casimiro, Isabella McRae, Corson Green, Victoria Jones, Olivia Smith, and Alex Rosenblum to the CRT committee. I hereby appoint Owen Sherman, Nicholas Luce, Shivi Jane, Anthony Bonaventure, Ibrahim Nassim, Mohammed Fawaz Kidwai, Kai Prohl, Katrina Wangen, Brian Kaufman, Mariah Simmons, Grace Ludi, JC Lim, Sahasra Satvika, and Alex Rosenblum to the FAO committee. I hereby appoint Gabriel Casimiro, Isabella McRae, Diana Nguyen, Corson Green, Melva D. It's D, right? Okay, correct. Okay. Victoria Jones, Jonah Scott, Samuel Rose, Ryan Kaufman, Juan Varela, Veronica Perez, JC Lim, Spurthy. How do I say that last name, Spurthy? I'm sorry.
It's Nurse Medavra.
Could you speak a little louder? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, it's Nurse Medavra.
Nurse
Medavra.
I still can't hear. Okay.
Is this better?
No, I'll work on it. I'm sorry.
Oh wait, no, you're so good. You're
And
totally fine.
Peter Rowe Kirkcast to the ORS committee. I hereby appoint Julia Zivin, Zachary Gaudio, Daisy Trejo Hernandez, Rose Rodriguez, Abby Matthews, Owen Sherman, Anthony Bonaventure, Mariah Simmons, Melva D, Grace Rudy, Brandon Kaminsky, Halima Alcuda, Mohammed Fawaz Kidwai, and Sahasra Sidfika to the LJR committee. I hereby appoint Ni Chow, Rose Rodriguez, Abby Matthews, Nathan Rickett, Bobby Escobar, Peter Cassie, Albanesh, James Capinos, Jocelyn Condoloro, Julia Zivin, Zachary Gaudio, Jordan Metellus, Jordan Lipner, and Anna Reed to the ENA committee. I hereby appoint Juan Varela, Kushi Chauhan, Jocelyn Condoloro, Anna Reed, and Angelia Varghese, Luke Paul, Chris Corelli, Bobby Escobar, Ibrahim Nassim, Danae Smith, and Angelique Leone, Cameron Renda, Terry Fassett, and Jonah Scott to the GAP committee. And I hereby appoint Danae Smith, Angelique Leone, Cameron Renda, Jordan Metellus, Ni Chow, Ella Weiderberg, Terry Fassett, Olivia Smith, Mila Tortoreski, Veronica Perez, Berthy, I will work on that, Arwa Arshad Ali, Brandon Kaminsky, and Halima Alcuda to the SBA committee, and I hereby appoint Senate President Pro Tempore Hamid as acting chair to all of these committees. I will work on everybody's last names. It'll be perfect next week, I promise. Okay, is there a motion to move back to internal committee caucus time?
So moved.
Okay. Now I'm good? Ready? Okay. ENA committee, 30 minutes. I recess at 7:44. We will reconvene at 8:14, 8:24, 8:14. Okay, perfect.
Okay, so the way it's going to work, if you're in the chamber and you're not in the ENA committee, you're welcome to leave. If you're going to be in here, make sure you're quiet so they can do their business. For those that are on Zoom, I'm going to make a breakout room that you all will be able to join. So you can just join the room if you do not want to participate in ENA. If you are there, then stay in the room and you'll be good to go. Okay, thanks.
Yes. Brody, does ENA have an agenda or do I have to make?
Yes, they do. Give me 1 second.
Thank you, Brody. Okay, if you guys are in ENA, please come to the middle table if you're a part of ENA. If you're not in ENA and you want to stay in the room, please be quiet.
Jason, it's in the Senate agenda. It's linked.
Thank you, Brody. Okay. So everyone at this table is a part of ENA, correct? Jordan?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. This is so exciting. Both Jordans in a committee. Okay. So it's in the Senate agenda right next to the committee caucus time. All right. I'll wait for Brody to do the breakout room. What? Oh, okay. Wait, guys, maybe I'm a boomer. I don't know if I'm in the breakout room or not. I'm sorry.
You are.
Wait.
Close this.
Brody didn't invite me.
It's usually like a button here, but there's not a button here. Click more.
Oh.
Wait, click that one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
Brody just wants to see my downfall. It's okay. All right. So everyone who's at this table is also in the breakout room on Zoom, because that was how we will be voting. Wait, what?
No.
Hold on.
Correct. Stay here if you're in ENA. Don't go to the breakout room. Stay here. Because the main room is what's live streaming, and I don't want your random conversations in the other room to be what's live streaming, right?
Sorry for doubting you, Brody. Okay. So, hi everyone. I'm gonna start the meeting in a second, but everyone's not in the breakout room. Sorry for spreading false information. No, don't join the breakout room. Don't join the breakout room. I was also confused. I'm sorry. Okay, does everyone have access to the agenda? And everyone who's here is also an ENA. Great. For people who aren't an ENA to go to, I think people might have also gotten confused. All right. I don't have. Also, if you're going to stay in the main, I guess, Zoom, and you're not an ENA, please don't vote because you're not allowed to vote. All right. I call this meeting to order at 7:48 p.m. Roll call and verification of quorum. That's me. Okay. Chair, I'm present. Vice chair does not exist. Senator Chow? Present. Senator Rodriguez? Oh. Brody, I can edit the document. Thank you, Brody. Okay. Senator Matthews?
Absent. Senator Rickett. Senator Escobar.
Present.
I apologize. Senator Rower Case.
Present.
How do I pronounce it?
Casa. Just do your best.
I'll work on it, I promise. Senator Benesh.
Here.
Senator Capinos.
Present.
Senator Candeloro.
Present.
Senator Zivin.
Here.
Senator Gaudio.
Present.
Senator Metellus.
Present.
Senator Lipner.
Present.
Senator Reed.
Present.
All right. Brody, what is the number at? So 12 out of 14 quorum is verified. All right. So there is no minutes to approve from last meeting because there's no minutes. Oh. Sorry, 13 out of 14. I forgot I counted. All right, approve the minutes. There are no minutes to approve. Approve the agenda. Is there a motion to approve this meeting's agenda? All right.
So moved.
Now, Banesh.
Wait, can I make my announcement?
You can make an announcement, announcements from committee members. All right, announcements from the chair. So hi guys, I'm your acting chair. We'll be doing chair elections today. It's really important. So we're here, we're locked in. All right, there is no vice chair. So announcements from the vice chair, none. Announcements from committee members, Senator Banesh.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new session if you new. Welcome back if you old. I just want to say this is so cool seeing so many people in ENA. I was the ENA vice chair for a little bit last session, and we did not have nearly this many people. So please do not drop out. Please, please. It's so much fun being in ENA. If you love to talk to people, meet people, question people, talk to people in general, like you will love this committee. Please, please stay. It's so awesome here.
Lipner?
If you like talking to students, you should also consider joining CRT. We do that a lot.
Also, if you're going to talk, don't turn on your microphone on Zoom or else it's going to echo. Sorry. All right. Announcements from non-committee members, none. Old business, none. New business, chair elections. Is there a motion to open up chair elections? Are there any nominations for the chair? Lipner?
I'd like to nominate Senator Escobar.
Senator Escobar, do you accept?
I do.
Metellus, did you have another? Chow?
This may be awkward, but can I nominate myself?
You can.
Okay.
Gaudio, did you have one?
Sure. I nominate Senator Rickett.
Senator Rickett, do you accept?
I accept.
Senator Reed?
I nominate Senator Banesh.
Senator Banesh, do you accept?
I decline.
And then Senator Banesh.
Can I nominate two people?
Yeah.
Okay, I nominate Senator Reed and Senator Gaudio.
Senator Reed, do you accept?
Sure.
Senator Gaudio, do you accept?
Sure. Let's have a party.
Brody, did you write all of those down? I also cannot see the changes on my agenda. Okay. You know, we're going to do this in 30 minutes, guys. This is called committee bonding. We're doing it early, but we're here. So I'll write it down myself. So we have Escobar. Let's go back down the line, make sure I have everyone. So Escobar, then Chow. Then it was, I believe it was Rickett next. And then after Rickett, it was Reed, and then it was Gaudio. Okay. Yes? I'm not getting it either.
Is everyone okay with that? Yes. Yes. Is everyone okay with the situation that we're in? Banesh?
Are we supposed to not be able to edit the document or anything?
That's the issue that we're having, but Brody is trying to fix it. I also will say, please try not to talk out of turn. I know we're in a casual setting, but please raise your hand to talk. So we won't have detailed minutes on the speeches, so please make sure you're paying attention. Is there a motion to close nominations? All right, is there a motion for, yes? Do you withdraw? Yes?
Motion for a 2-10-10.
There's been a motion for a 2-10-10. Are there any objections?
Point of parliamentary inquiry, actually. Did the resolution where motions now require a second pass?
But has it been enacted?
Well, that's what I mean, enacted.
Yeah.
In that case, I second that. Wait, what was the time you said? Sorry.
I'm gonna amend it to be a 2-8-8 just for timing purposes.
There's been a motion for a 2-8-8.
I second that motion.
There's been an objection.
Can we possibly get like a 4-6-6? Is that possible or?
Yes. Also, Banesh is asking us to speak up.
Yeah,
So if you're talking in here, make sure you're using the mics.
I was trying to do the 2 minutes specifically because I thought that we had 4 people who wanted to speak and then also wanted to give everyone the opportunity to answer questions and have debate in total. So I figured the more time for debate and questioning would be better. I'm happy to change it to like a 3-8-8 if that's
Brody?
better.
Oh. You were next.
My thing was there's a new link in the Senate agenda that you can click on. We figured it out. It's all solved. Everything's wonderful now. And then just in case it's unclear, that 30 minutes is an estimate. You are allowed to take as long as you need to. Obviously, you know, we have to be done at 9, so don't do longer than that. But don't feel constrained to that 30 minutes if that is not the amount of time it will take.
Also, when you guys open up the agenda, could you move your cursor off the link? So what I'm hearing is 2 is too little, 4 is too much.
Motion for a 3-8-8.
There's been a motion for a 3-8-8. Is there anyone that seconds that? Or is there an objection?
Oh, I second that motion.
All right. This is new to me, so apologies if I get anything wrong. First hour on the job. But all right. So there's been a motion for a 3-8-8. This means that each person who is running for chair will have 3 minutes to give their speech. If you have any materials, I would say send them to Brody, and Brody will put them into the agenda. Is that okay, Brody? All right, great. If you don't have any materials, that's completely okay. All right, so we'll go in the order of nomination. So Senator Escobar, you have 3 minutes whenever you're ready.
Could we wait until my materials are posted?
All right, we can wait. So how's everyone's night?
Doing great.
I'm tired.
I think they're there though. Did this?
I'm ready.
All right. Whenever you're ready.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. I've uploaded both my presentation and my resume for your review. Just to start off, my name is Bobby Escobar. I've been serving as a senator since October of 2024. I was introduced as a new senator last session and was appointed for last session's ENA chair in January. Elected as ENA chair in January. I'm rerunning for chair of the Elections and Appointments Committee to improve upon my initiatives to update and revise Title VI and be the best it can be. As previous chair, I worked with this committee to update Title VI as well as implement other initiatives for the ENA committee. My experience includes, as I mentioned, being the 56 sessions ENA chair. I worked with this committee weekly to improve upon the Title VI and just to work with the Election Commission to improve Title VI and make sure that student government elections were being run and that the statutes were being that matched accordingly. I'm also involved outside of student government as a lead scholar and orientation leader, and I'm also vice president of my major's student association. As previous chair, I understand the requirements that being chair of this committee holds. I'm to uphold all UCF standards and procedures, as well as be responsible for posting and committee times and creating the committee's agenda, as well as presiding over the minutes, maintaining decorum, and being an active member of this committee and bringing new ideas and initiatives. My methods as a leader include being communicative, communicating with every member of this committee, showing that I'm listening to the committee and want to work with you as well. I want to collaborate on different initiatives, different ideas that the committee members bring, and accomplish the common goals of just bringing new members of UCF students into student government and making sure they're the most qualified and that they're best to fit this role, as well as just that they will work as a senator. Some initiatives that I have, some initiatives I had for last session were tabling alongside the Election Commission, which we did. We also created ENA flyers that showed students what ENA does, and also created a new senator checklist that we did not get to implement last year due to senator applications closing during my time as chair, but I do plan on implementing.
Senator Escobar, your time has elapsed. So is there a motion to extend time or yes?
I'm by like 1 minute.
There's been a motion to extend by 1 minute.
I'll second that.
All right, we have 1 more minute left.
Yeah, and initiatives I have for this upcoming session or this current session is to use the use of executive session when debating on appointments. This is similar to what our Florida Senate and Federal Senate do when considering appointments to government positions. So if you also choose, you can use executive session when debating ENA chair. But also use the use of a physical ENA binder, as well as I've created an ENA questioning diary during the break between the 56th and 57th that we can have and add questions to for when questioning cabinet, judicial, election commission, and senators, and also a thorough Title VI revision. I yield for questioning. I mean, I yield.
All right. Next is Senator Chow. You will have 3 minutes whenever you're ready.
Is it okay if I also time myself?
Of course.
Okay, perfect.
A question for the chair.
Yes.
Are we still was the 3 minutes an extension just for Escobar, or are we extending that 3 minutes to all speeches?
We would have to amend the original motion to extend it to 4 minutes.
In that case, I move to amend our speech, question, and debate to a what was it? 488.
All right. You have 4 minutes whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'll go ahead and start now. So good evening, ENA committee. I'm very excited to see you all, fresh faces. As you can see here, I'm a new senator, and my name is Ni Chow, and I am running for the ENA committee chair for the 57th Senate session. And I just want to go ahead and first talk about my philosophy. Idealism cannot exist without realism. And while I was taking my legal studies classes and I had a legal mentor, he taught me this specific idea about even though if you want to have advocacy, even if you want to have representation, you do need to have practicality. And I do carry that throughout all of my work. And then once again, how will that tie with my leadership? I will make sure that throughout my leadership or as my experience, like as a chair, or if I do become a chair, I'll make sure that we have effective policies, legislation, and advocacy throughout our entire session. And then moving on, specifically some general information about me. I'm a major in legal studies. I'm now a junior, and I have a minor in writing and rhetoric, minor in diversity and social inequality. So I have extensive background when it comes to writing, legislation, and then not only that, but when it comes to advocacy and representation, I am a CCIE student, and I specifically am located at UCF downtown. And then when it comes to my leadership and experience, so I'm in the speech and debate team, Senate leadership. I was in Senate Leadership Council. I'm currently a community assistant at Nate Circle. And then not only that, but I'm a research assistant specifically for Dr. Patrick for our legal studies department. So as you can see here, I do have extensive background when it comes to legislation, writing, debate, and speech. When it comes to the specific background, I've also competed very heavily. So once again, I'm very nitpicky when it comes to legislation and policy, and I'll make sure that when it comes to improving our titles and statutes and in general in our internal bills, I'll make sure that we try to refine it as much as possible. Not only that, but in Senate Leadership Council, I was very inspired by the leadership of Senator Escobar, and not only that, but Senator Benesh. When I was taking notes in the Senate sessions, there was a lot of notes to take. And then not only that, but in the end of the presentation, there's going to be a QR code that you can go ahead and scan to see the extensive amount of notes that I've taken or some examples. And then not only that, but in Senate Leadership Council, I was the Senate Scholarship Senate Scholar, for 2025. And because of that, once again, that just proves my background when it comes to creating and writing legislation and how I would make sure when it comes to meeting agendas and not only that legislation and what we want to improve upon, I would put that in. And then my community assistant and research assistant background, once again, ties into that specific background on improving legislation. And then my goals as ENA chair, I am a new senator, so I do have very general initiatives, but objective one, when it comes to the ENA committees and like specifically when it comes to the appointment process, I did notice that we didn't really have a questionnaire sheet. So I would make sure to go ahead and implement that. That would be in the next slide, sorry. I would make sure to go ahead and implement that so we can not only just have a general questioning for all senators to put upon justices and new appointed senators, but once again, just have that uniformity and that type of guideline. And then objective two, committee recording. So this is in general, like more of a general initiative, but once again, trying to make Senate more accessible to the general public, to students, and those who possibly would prefer to use audio aid. That's an option. And then objective three, maintaining the representation, ideas, and goals that we want as the ENA committee, and trying to advocate more and have more students vote in elections and try to, once again, be involved in student government and also improve the general well-being of student government and the student body through these specific processes. And then last slide, or my second to last slide, the QR codes, specifically seeing the notes that I took, my resume and my background, and then in general, a website if you would like to overview that. And I yield the rest of my time. Thank you.
You had 1 second left. That was pretty good.
Thank you.
All right. Senator Rickett, you're next whenever you're ready, 4 minutes.
Okay, can everyone hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, I just wanted to say thank you so much for the opportunity. To all my senators who are new, welcome. To those who are returning, hey, welcome back, everyone. I really, really appreciate the nomination. And I just wanted to let you all know that I think each and every single one of you on this committee is capable and able to be the chair or even the vice chair of this committee. Me personally, I have a bunch of experience. We all do, and we all have varying backgrounds, but I don't think any of that really matters. Your CV doesn't matter, your profiles and what all you volunteer for, it really, really doesn't matter. Only thing that really matters for ENA and being the chair is giving these people that come through this committee a free and fair chance and knowing your statutes and making sure that they are qualified for the position. Because these positions that we're actually giving these people a chance for, those affect every single member of our university, all 70,000 of our students. That's what matters. I yield about the rest of my time.
All right. Also, Brody, when it comes to questioning and debate, would you mind taking minutes? My editing thing on Docs is weird. Thank you. All right. Next is Senator Reed. Oh, yes.
I would also not mind taking the minutes if the advisor doesn't want to.
I will say, since you're a candidate, I would not want you to do that. All right, Senator Reed, you have 4 minutes whenever you're ready.
Can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So, hello, if you don't know me, my name is Anna Reed, and I'm a senator for the College of Arts and Humanities. I am a political science and theater double major. This is going to be my 3rd year in student government when I started in SGLC in 2023 and eventually joining Senate in the 56th session. Outside of student government, I'm a learning assistant for academic services for student athletes, secretary for President's Leadership Council, director of programming and recruitment for Model United Nations, and a social media ambassador for the university. The role as chair is going to be critical these upcoming weeks as we're seeing judicial and executive appointees in a unbiased manner, and we have to uphold that as well. While this is my first time in the E&A committee, I will ensure that this committee will be my utmost priority. Communication is the biggest motivator for me, and I wish to ensure that the student body and the student government as a whole is up to date with everything happening in E&A. I want to say thank you for nominating me for this position. It was unexpected and very surprising. But also, I believe that each and every candidate up for election in this position is more than qualified, and I'm so happy to be a part of this committee. Thank you so much. I yield my time.
All right. Senator Gaudio, 4 minutes whenever you're ready.
Well, good evening, Ian Day. I won't go too long into the about myself. My name is Zachary Gaudio. As for everything else, I have already spilled my heart before you on the Senate floor, so we will not spend too much time on that. I would like to also extend my thanks for the nomination, but let's get into it. I believe that the E&A chair serves a very powerful role in guiding the confirmation process of the executive appointees. They serve a guiding power, or a big hand in making sure that the election commission is properly handling their job and doing so in a fair and equal manner. And I believe that that is a standard that we should really be pushing for. There were quite a few concerns in the last session concerning certain executive branch members where they were not doing their job to a satisfactory role. And the best time to really vet those applicants, make sure that they'll consistently do a good job throughout the whole year, is during the confirmations process. And so as chair, I want to make sure that every appointee that hits this committee is held to a fair standard, but a high standard, because there is only one person that can get that position. And once they have that position, it would be very, very difficult, and they would have to do something very, very incorrect in order for us to remove them. And so I want to really push the idea for executive session, for instance. That is a phenomenal idea that I would also like to reflect, because I'll be honest, it is easier to deny a candidate when they are not sitting right in front of you. That is the hard truth. And so that is what I really stand for, as well as election commission, keeping very close ties on the election commission and making sure that every member of the committee is familiar with what's going on, so that they can be held accountable, making sure that every individual commissioner is doing their statutory duties, and especially during, say, violation hearings, that they're being properly posted according to Title 12, that everyone is aware that they are going on, and that the standards that the Election Commission is using, once again, are fair and just. I yield.
All right. We're now in an 8-minute period of questioning. So when you ask questions, make sure that they are applicable to all the candidates. And for this first question, it'll be going in order of nomination. So Escobar, Chao, down the line. All right. Where's our first question at? Banesh.
So which title do we deal with in this committee?
We preside over Title VI, the election statutes, as well as the Senate apportionment portion of Title III.
I was going to say the exact same thing, Title VI, and once again, like Senator Escobar said, Title III.
Senator Rickett?
All of them, because all the candidates have to know each and every single one of them.
I think all of that remains true, but the biggest one would have to be the election statutes, which is Title VI. But again, every senator should know every single statute and title.
So in terms of internal legislation, so we provide oh my goodness, preside over all of Title VI, the section of Title III involving presidential confirmees, but we also preside over the section of Title IV related to the appointment process.
Any other questions? Lipner?
If you were not to get this position, do you have any backup plans or plan Bs in terms of other executive positions within Senate?
May I raise a point of order?
Yes, you may.
I do not believe that that question is germane to the election of the chair position.
I was going to say, I do not believe that that question is germane either. So do you have another question?
I do. Do you have any time commitments that would take away from your ability to operate as chair of this committee?
So, as my resume states, I am an orientation leader. So, over the summer, I do attend orientation sessions. However, my work hours are flexible, and I do have Wednesdays off of work for ENA specifically. Other than that, I do have 4 classes this summer, but they are all evening, and I am, as expressed last session, I had 5 classes and I was able to manage my time very well.
So I do have some time commitments. I do know that I'm currently a research assistant, like I mentioned before, and then not only that, but I am a community assistant for Night Circle. However, when it comes to that work schedule, I'll definitely make sure to be flexible and talk with my manager in regards to that in order to accommodate for the ENA committee. Not only that, but in terms of classes, I'm actually not taking any classes over the summer. So in terms of investing my time as the ENA chair, if I do become the chair, I would be able to.
I have absolutely no time constraints. My education is funded through the GI Bill.
I definitely do have other obligations, but I am a thorough Google Calendar warrior, and I always ensure that, I prioritize things that are most important or that I have the most, say over, I guess. So even though I do have other time commitments, I've always been the type of person to prioritize what I need to prioritize, which if I were to be given this position, ENA would be top of my priority. And so I could be able to move my schedule around to ensure that I can give the most amount of time to this position.
Not much has changed in the past half hour. So, I mean, as I stated on the floor, my only real commitments will be, at the moment, classes. I do have some research that I'm engaged in, but I would be able to dedicate time to the position as appropriate.
We're also halfway through questioning time. Are there any other questions? Banesh?
Move to debate.
So a motion to move to debate. Is there a second? All right. We're now in a period of debate. Is there any debate? I'll go Metellus, then Lipner.
I'll be brief. I believe that Senator Escobar is the best candidate for this position, and I will be voting in favor of him. He has done so much work for this committee in the previous session and has the most experience in this role, and I feel like he would fill in this role the best. I do commend and applaud every other candidate that is running for this position, but I will be voting in favor for Senator Escobar. I keep wanting to say Chair Escobar, but Senator Escobar, and I encourage you guys all to do the same.
Great Jordan minds think alike. I'm just going to mirror everything that he just said. I'll be voting in favor of Chair Escobar, and I urge you all to do the same.
Senator Banesh?
So I'm still a little bit on the fence. I just want to commend everybody. Your speeches were great and you guys have great experience. However, the 2 people that I'm leaning towards the most would be my dog, Bobby Escobar, and Ni Chao. I feel like these are the most well-suited candidates. So
I'd probably be going for either. I also want to shout out Nee real quick because that glazing was awesome. Thank you for appreciating me. And I'd be glad to work with you if you do get elected. So yeah, Escobar or Chow. Thank you.
Are there any other pieces of debate? Lipner?
A second.
There's been a motion to vote and a second. We will now go into voting procedures. So you have to vote on Zoom, even if you're in person.
For the Senate meeting at large, yes, because we have to have a voting record. For your committee, that's up to you. I can make a poll quickly if you'd like me to, but that is up to you.
Could you make a poll, Brody?
I would be happy to.
Oh, thank you. So if you're in the Senate meeting with us right now on the Zoom and you're not in ENA, don't vote because you're not in this committee. Greatly appreciated. But you are, if you are in this committee, please vote.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be easier just for us to have a roll call vote? That would eliminate others being able to put in their vote unnecessarily.
Metellus?
I think that's just up to us if we want to do it, or if there's a motion, I should say, and then we debate that.
It would just be my decision. I mean, I thought the poll would be easier, but we could do a roll call vote if you guys would prefer. Would you guys want that by the raise of hands I see? Okay. I just wanted to make sure in case no one wanted to like say it out loud. Okay, so we'll go down the line. And I'll have to write it down. Sorry, Brody. Okay. So, Senator Chow, all the options are in the all the options are in the agenda, or there also is the ability to abstain. So will you, how will you be voting?
Sorry, I have turned. Okay. I guess I will vote for myself. Yeah.
All right. Senator Rodriguez. Absent. Senator Rickett.
I vote for Chair Escobar.
Also for everyone entering into the chamber again, we're not done yet. We're in the middle of voting. So we're at Senator Escobar.
I'll be abstaining.
Senator Roherkes.
I'll be voting for Senator Escobar.
All right. Senator Benesh.
Escobar.
Senator Capinos.
My vote will be for Senator Escobar.
Senator Candelora.
Senator Escobar.
Senator Zivin.
I'll be voting for Senator Chow.
Senator Gaudio.
We can't make this too lopsided. I vote for Senator Chow.
Senator Metellus.
I'll be voting for Escobar.
Senator Lipner.
Escobar, please.
Senator Reed.
Escobar.
And I'm going to be abstaining. So the vote count of 9 to 2 to 2. Senator Escobar is now the chair of ENA.
Woohoo!
Quickly before I give the chair, because confirmations are happening now, we should meet over the weekend to discuss anything you need. Now I officially yield the chair to Chair Escobar.
Well, thank you. Is there a motion to move to announcements from the chair? All right. Well, I'll make this quick. Thank you all for electing me and putting your trust in me as chair of the Elections and Appointments Committee. I feel that the first order of business that we take today is setting a time to meet for this summer and this session. So yeah, I'll be putting a when to meet in the ENA channel once everyone is added, and yeah, if there are any questions for me, I can take those now or later. Yeah, is there a motion? Senator Metellus.
Motion to adjourn this meeting pending final roll call.
There's been a motion to adjourn this meeting pending final roll call. Are there any objections?
I object. I just have a question.
Who was that? Sorry.
Banesh.
Senator Banesh.
I was just wondering, do you know if the meetings will be hybrid or in person?
They'll be hybrid.
Thank you, sir, and congrats.
Senator Kapanos, was there a question?
Yeah, I just had a quick question about the when to meet. So you said that would be posted in a channel. Is that going to be on Teams or through an email, or how is that going to be given to us?
It'll be Teams. I'm recommending that we meet Wednesdays. But again, I can put for any time in the when to meet. Senator Metellus.
Motion to adjourn this meeting pending final roll call.
There's been a motion to adjourn this meeting pending final roll call.
I second that motion.
All right. Roll call. Final roll call. With 13 out of 14, I hereby adjourn this meeting at 8:24 p.m.
Okay. I don't have a gavel, so I have to use my phone right now. I hereby reconvene this meeting at 8:28 p.m. Doo, doo, doo. Okay. ENA committee, Chair Escobar.
Good evening, Senate. Today in our caucus time, we elected our chair. Thank you all for electing me, re-electing me as chair of this committee. I will not hold this position lightly. I plan on improving upon and just working as a group to bring this community together and work to introduce new student government agents to student government. And again, I thank you all. And we will be meeting next week to hold our first official meeting of this session to do confirmations, and the meeting time will be posted hopefully tomorrow. Thank you.
Right. Are there any questions for the ENA chair? Seeing none, is there a motion to move back to announcements from the Senate President? Okay. Hi, Senate. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kirsten, and I'm so happy to have been elected for this position. I have already started the process of scheduling an introductory meeting with the President and Vice President, and we'll also be having a meeting with Comptroller Camillo regarding the rest of the budget, and we'll get back to all of you next week regarding that. As mentioned in my speech, I will be appointing an ELA, ILA, and Sergeant-at-Arms for this session. All three of these applications will open tomorrow by 3 p.m. and will close on Sunday. I will be having interviews for those positions next week and hopefully having them confirmed next week as well. We do have a busy few weeks coming up, guys, so just be aware of that. For all three of them, you may send in a resume if you wish. I also kind of listed things that I'm looking for in these three positions. You can read them if you would like to. Things to remember, the ILA has a huge effect on the internal processes of Senate and how we interact with the other branches. The ELA, on the other hand, is very important when it comes to media agencies as well as the SG executive branch, because they do a lot of external things as well. The Sergeant-at-Arms is very important when it comes to maintaining decorum. There's a lot of you, and I can't see everything all at once. So this position would essentially help me and the Senate President Pro Tempore ensure that this meeting is staying as professional as possible. So those are the three positions. The applications will open up tomorrow, and that's all from me. Are there any questions? Seeing none. Announcements from the Senate President Pro Tempore Hamid.
Hi, everyone. So, just chaired ENA. Really fun. Congratulations to new ENA Chair Escobar. We will be meeting tomorrow at 5 to discuss anything that ENA may need in the upcoming weeks with confirmations of both cabinet and the new justices. With that, for every other committee, I've created when-to-meets. I'm going to be sending them out into all of the team channels once I get added to all of them. Brody, when will I be added to all the other committee channels?
I will add you all to your committee channels maybe tonight, likely in the morning.
Real. Okay. So whenever I'm added to those, I'm going to be sending out a when-to-meet for us to pick a time to meet. Please fill them out as soon as possible. And please fill them out in general, because if you don't, you might not be able to come to your first meeting and won't be able to be there when you elect your chair of your committee. If you are interested in being a chair of a committee and you're unsure of any of the responsibilities, or if you have any questions, please reach out. Send me a text on Teams or email me. Or if you would like to send me your materials ahead of time so I can have them in the agenda, do that too. With that, with the deputies, applications open tonight. So for the D-Leg, I'm looking for a resume, a proposal on anything that you'd like to improve to the role, and also any supporting documents that you deem necessary. Also, my computer died, so I can't read off of anything. So for the Deezer, I'm looking for a resume, a proposal that could include bonding activities, different email templates, anything that you think you would like to propose as part of this role, and any other supporting documents. I'm hoping to take those in tonight, tomorrow, and this weekend. Applications will close on Monday, and I'm hoping to start interviews this Saturday. Are there any questions for me?
Okay, seeing none. Okay. Notice of legislation on first reading, none, third reading, none, second reading, none. Senate forum. Dinesh.
Hi, everybody. Reintroduction really quick. My name is El Banesh, and I just wanted to say, like, welcome back to everybody old. Welcome to everybody new. I'm so super excited to see how we all collaborate this year. I hope we can improve upon what we did last session, and I think this will be a great session. I love seeing everybody's enthusiasm. Everybody is so smart, so capable. I really have so much belief in this session, and I hope y'all do too.
Anybody else for Senate forum? Lipner.
Hi, everyone. If you don't know, last session I was chair of the Sustainability Caucus, and currently the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is trying to change the definition for the Endangered Species Act. This will remove the qualifications for habitat protection for these individuals and allow businesses, developers, individuals like that to build on this land and essentially indirectly harm a large amount of individual creatures and will be dangerous for their supply. So I will be posting a link as soon as I can find it. I'm still trying to get there for public comments to make towards the Fish and Wildlife Service to create more public awareness. That public comment is due in the next few days, and we've already amassed over 100,000 individuals who have spoken out in protection of this. So we'd like to continue that, and I urge you all to make that public comment. So keep an eye out for that link as soon as I find it, and please make a public comment as simple as endangered species are important and their habitat is worth protecting, or as long as a full detailed explanation about why your favorite endangered species is worth protecting. There's a lot of great ones within Florida as well, so lots of reason to comment on this. So please do, and keep a lookout for that link, which I'm getting right now.
Okay, anybody else wishing to speak in Senate forum? Senator Barilla.
It's more of a question for the pro temp, if that's okay.
Yeah, go on.
So because there's no deal yet, should we hold off on sending any sort of legislation, or should we just send it to you?
You can still send it to me. I will say, don't know when Brody will give me access to the pro temp email. So
You just got it.
that is incredible. So you can send it to me anytime you want.
Okay, anybody else for Senate forum? Lipner?
I got the link, so if you guys want to access that, it's there.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Seeing nobody else for Senate forum, Senate deliberation, anybody wishing to speak in deliberation? Seeing none, advisors report, Brody.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to Senate. I'm very excited for all of you. I probably should have a lot of announcements, but my brain is slow. So nothing's coming to mind right now. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are going on. You should have gotten access to your email earlier this week. If you're not sure how to add a shared inbox, just shoot me an email, or you can actually just Google it. UCF has some resources, but there's a way to do that within your Outlook. If you need help with it, let me know. You've also been added to the teams, so you should be in the Senate channel. You will also be added to your committee channels. I'll try to do that tonight before we leave. So you can check there for whatever information you need to know for planning those meetings. Either probably tomorrow, I'll add you all to the Night Connect portal so that if you miss a meeting or are going to miss one, you can submit your absence request. That'll all work through there. Yeah, and more things will come. Inevitably, there will be lots of things I missed. If you have questions or things are confusing, just let me know, and I'm happy to talk about it. And we don't have a ton of time, but I do want to just take a second and do my favorite thing, which is Senator shoutouts. For those that are new, this is just a chance to shout out your fellow senators for the awesome things that they do, for the moments where they go above and beyond, and you want to highlight them. That can be during the meeting, Senate related, or just awesome things that they're doing outside of this. So yeah, let's do some senator shoutouts. Metellus.
Shout out our newly elected Senate leadership. So proud of you guys. Let's go around of applause. And I can't wait to see how you guys lead us through this session.
All right. Trey Hernandez.
Shout out to new senators. I talked to a bunch during recess. They're great.
Go talk to them. I won't know your first names for a while, guys.
Right. Alcuda.
Shout out everyone. Shout out newly appointed. I don't even know. New Senate leadership. Okay, shout out y'all. Love you guys. But most of all, shout out my SLC babies. I'm so proud of you and how far you guys have come. And it's so surreal to see you guys. I'm so proud of you. Round of applause, please.
All right, Green.
Shout out, excuse me. Shout out to Chair Escobar for his recent election.
All right. Gadio.
Senator Chow for running for chair as a completely new senator.
All right, Ruh.
Yeah, shout out to all the new senators for courts. It's very difficult to be here the first time, especially the SOCers who are here. I'm not an SOCer, so I'm really old. I feel like, it's new SOCers. I don't know. I'm like unk now. Shout out to people in the back. Former Senator Lazo, presidential candidate Grouse, and my girlfriend Ananya. Hi. Yeah, it's probably very boring for her, so thank you for being here. And I'm also shout out to our new Senate leadership. It's probably very difficult for them to do all that, so very courageous.
All right, Lipner.
Shout out to our new student assistant Madavi, doing a wonderful job.
All right, Ted Rescue.
Shout out to Senator Alcuda, the best, SLC coordinator, and shout out to the Go El Banesh on the Zoom call.
And we'll go to Banesh.
First of all, shout out to Senator Tedescu. Shout out to Senator Casimiro. Those are my nice pantry goats. Shout out to myself, because the goat knows goats. And of course, shout out Senate President Courts. Girl, I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited to see what you're finna do. Yeah.
All right. Courts, yeah.
You know what? Shout out all of you. You guys are great. I feel like ever since orientation, all of the new senators have really shined, and I'm so happy to already have a body that just seems so engaged. Shout out all of the SLCers, especially both of my mentees, because they're here. Sahasra had to leave, but Melva's still right there. So shout out to all of them. And shout out Pro Tempore Hamid. Yeah.
All right. Libner.
Also important to shout out the new senators who are not in any leadership council. That is an equally, if not more difficult challenge to bring, and I'm so proud of you all for taking that step.
Metellus?
Just really quick, I also want to say shout out SLC, and I do feel like Unk as well. Like, oh my goodness, like yesterday I was just in SLC, but also shout out my mentee who's on the bottom right of the screen. Love you, Jimmy. And yeah.
Right,
Shout out everyone. Shout out to new senators. I know what it was like to join Senate knowing absolutely nothing. So thank you guys for staying engaged. Shout out to Ine. You guys locked in. That was great. Shout out to Bobby, obviously, new chair, first chair here. Also for my new senators, I forgot to say this earlier. If you want to have like a orientation-esque thing with me and you just want to talk about if you have any questions about being a senator, please reach out. I'll be willing to have that one-on-one with you in case you have any questions or concerns. I guess shout out Senate President Courts. Just kidding.
All right, Leon.
If I butcher your name, you're allowed to kill me. But shout out to Senator Alakida. Did I say that right? Alakuda. Did I get that right? Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm so bad with pronunciations. I just wanted to say shout out to her because she deeply inspired me during my time in Senate Leadership Council, and she was very patient and very forgiving and willing to work with me when I had medical issues. And I was elected SLC of the year, and I am planning to bring my resolution project to the Senate floor soon. So I just want to say thank you to her for everything she's done for me, inspiring me.
All right, let's get, is it Capanos?
Yeah, I wanted to shout out my mentor, Jordan Metellus, the GOAT. He's always been there for me since day one, and I couldn't have been where I am today without him. I just wanted to shout out also new Senate leadership and prior Senate leadership. You guys have inspired all the new. I can't speak for everyone, but for me at least, you've inspired me so much to just do the best that I can do, being in Senate and wanting to achieve the greatest possibilities. So I just want to say thank you for everyone that has inspired me on this journey and for the journeys to come.
All right. Escobar?
Shout out ENA committee. It's the fullest that I've seen it. I hope you guys don't leave us, but also shout out President of the Senate Courts and Pro Temp Hamid. You guys deserve it. And also shout out my fellow orientation leaders, Senator D and Senator Leon.
All right. Ciao.
Just want to give a quick shout out to my GOAT, Pro Tempore, Jason Hamid. Okay. And then not only that, but also a shout out to, once again, Senator Al Qaeda, my Princess Diana of Senate. I will say very much both mentors very, very much inspired me to start my journey in student government. I actually did not join SGLC. I joined SLC, and they provided so many resources. And once again, thank you very much.
Gadio?
I'm taking a page out of Senator Banesh's book. Shout out to myself for going from an unopposed speaker election to a nearly split vote. I'll take that.
Right.
And shout outs to the Pro Tech Board.
Verla. Yeah. Verla? What? You're crazy. I don't know what to tell you.
Anyway, shout out to all of us who are filling the committees because, like, I don't know, they're all full, which is kind of crazy to me. Like, I've never seen ours have so many people. I don't know, it warms my heart, honestly.
There you go. All right. Oh, yeah. Daisy.
Shout out Brody.
Thank you.
Good luck putting all of this in our channels.
For all the new senators, we have to keep going until somebody gives me a shout out and then we can be done. Just kidding. Okay. Yeah. If there's no other shout outs, Madavi.
Hey guys, I am the new student assistant. So if you ever need anything or if you think I can help you with certain things, please feel free. I have a workstation. You'll see my face. I put my picture up there. Come talk to me. I also have a snack station. So please come talk to me. I'm a yapper. Also, I'm working on website changes. So if you have any suggestions regarding it, there's a link to a form. Please fill it out by the given deadline so that we can make those changes ASAP. Thank you.
All right. Are there any questions for either Brody or Madavi? Seeing none. Miscellaneous business, that's done. Oh yeah. That was, miscellaneous business. Sorry guys, I forgot it was a title. Resignations. CRT, I hereby resign Senator Green. Appointments, I hereby appoint Owen Sherman to the CRT committee. Chair Hernandez.
Motion to adjourn meeting pending final roll call.
There's been a motion to adjourn this meeting pending final roll call. Any objections?
I second that motion.
You can still ask for objections. Seeing none. And technically, if there's a second, it goes into debate. But okay, seeing none. Madavi.
Right. I'll try my best, but please be forgiving. Luke Paul.
Here.
Anna Reed.
Present.
Olivia Smith.
Present.
Angelina Vargas.
Here.
Gabriel Cashimiro.
Present.
Christopher Corelli.
Present.
Here. Samuel Jollicoeur. Absent. James Capinos.
Present.
JC Lim.
Present.
Jalen Miller. Absent. Saharsha Satvika. Here. Okay. Jonah Scott.
Present.
Ni Chao.
Present.
Shivi Jain. Shivi Jain. Absent. Owen Sherman.
Present.
Dan Smith.
Danae, present.
Arwa Arshad Ali.
Present.
Melwa Day.
Present.
Zachary Gadia.
Present.
Jason Hamid.
Present.
Ryan Kaufman.
Present.
Nicholas Licht.
Present.
Jordan Metellus.
Present.
Kai Prohl.
Present.
Peter Rohan Karsey.
Present.
Samuel Rose.
Present.
Grace Rudy.
Present.
Daisy Trejo Hernandez.
Present.
Brandon Kaminsky.
Present.
Terry Fassett.
Present.
Mohammed Kidwai.
Present.
Nathan Rickett.
Present.
Kushi Chauhan. Absent. Bobby Escobar.
Present.
Ibrahim Nassim.
Present.
Rose Rodriguez. Absent. Katrina Wanjan.
Present.
Ella Wenderberg.
Present.
Corson Green.
Present.
Diana Wen.
Present.
Anthony Bonaventure.
Present.
Veronica Perez.
Present.
Halima Al-Qada.
Present.
El Banash.
Present.
Jocelyn Candelero.
Present.
Kirsten Quartz.
Present.
Victoria Jones.
Present.
Angelique Leon.
Present.
Abby Matthews. Absent. Isabella McRae.
Present.
Spurti Nrashim Devara.
Present.
Cameron Randa.
Present.
Alex Rosenblum. Absent. Maria Simmons. Absent. Mila Teodorescu.
Present.
Juan Varela.
Present.
Julia Zivin.
Present.
And Jordan Lipner.
Present. Have a good night, everyone.
D1 on 59.
Okay, I hereby adjourn this meeting at 8:51 p.m.